Good evening, Canes fans and Caneswear family. Welcome back to the Caneswear TV live podcast. Today is Tuesday, June 9th, and we are officially 87 days away from the start of the season when we go to Stanford on September 4th. Gio, are you geared up?
I am most definitely geared up, and I hope Hurricane fans are too, because you've been paying attention to social media, Instagram, our YouTube page, even on X, $100 gift card giveaway going on right now.
Where do I sign up?
Well, key rule to it, you have to be subscribed to the channel. If you are subscribed to the channel, you are automatically entered in. If you're coming in from another avenue, if you're on X, yes, it's great if you comment or like a post or whatever. However, you got to subscribe to the YouTube. Those are the key words to the rules to enter the giveaway. Winner will be announced on Thursday when we are on live. Again, me and Brett at 9:30 p.m. that day. Entries finish up at 12 noon on Thursday.
All right. So once again, for a $100 Caneswear gift card, and that could be buying anything you want in the store. That could be Hurricanes. You know, you lose a bet and you got to buy something else for another team. Well, actually, it's only South Florida teams. So Hurricanes, Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Miami Heat, Miami Marlins. But we know it's all about the U, mainly at Caneswear. And it's about 65, 70% Caneswear. And we are so excited about what's happening in this season with all the merchandise coming in. Gio, we just got the most unbelievable polos in at a special reduced price, $52. They are fantastic. They'd be, if it was a Tommy Bahama, it'd be $150. By Coliseum, they are awesome. We got it in black, white, orange, and green. So so right now, like Gio says, take advantage. Make sure you like and subscribe, or just subscribe to the podcast. Gio, we had some breaking news today on our podcast numbers, didn't we?
Yep. We just crossed the 2,000 mark. We've been pushing this as the official Caneswear channel for about, I'd say, a good month to month and a half. We've been pushing this channel. Thank you, everyone, for the love and support. We're excited to continue growing this channel as you all get involved with us. Just always sending your questions, your comments. I know several people love the shorts series we've been doing, all the content that we're posting daily. I hope all the fans are enjoying it, and there's much more planned that's coming. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what we're doing right now.
Yeah, exciting stuff. We got an amazing team. We just had our first team lunch. We missed everybody there. We invited everybody, but we had Gio, myself, the lovely Lorraine, who's on the team now, and the amazing Ethan and Ava. It was just a great team. You've probably seen Ethan, Canes Muse, some of his posts and everything, doing a great job of graphics. Ava is a Caneswear host, doing a great job, a lot of shorts and things like that. We're going to get her on some podcasts too. So everything is coming along. We are really excited about it. We just went over 2,000. Gio, I got another piece of great news, Gio.
What's up?
I don't think I've told you it, Gio. I hope everyone, I feel like I'm like dancing in the dark here. It's a little slow. So hopefully nobody, it's my reception here. But on the Caneswear app, which we know, we're talking about the Caneswear app, which we need more people. We need everybody to subscribe. We have a mailing list, Gio, of over 100,000 at Caneswear, which is pretty amazing. We've been in business for 16 years. It's our 16th anniversary, as I've mentioned before. We have a mailing list of over 100,000 on our email list. The Caneswear app is new. So if you download the app, all right, and you want notifications, you're going to see some unbelievable sales right now for the next few days on the Caneswear app. $16 off any $25 purchase, Gio. So if you buy $25 worth, you get $16. That's $9 plus tax. You can even pick it up in the store. You don't have to get it shipped. If you buy $100, you get $16 off. So whatever you get, $25, $16 off. Buy anything over $25 and you're set. And that's the special right now. It's going to go on for the next week. You got to be on the Caneswear app. It's on the Google Store, or it's on the iOS or Apple App Store. Download Caneswear.com. We've got the Caneswear News on there, which is great. So you can read great news stories about the Canes. We've also got a lot of other great things that are going to be happening with that, with sales and promotions and other things as well. So great stuff going on in the Caneswear app. So download that and subscribe to the channel. and you are entered into the contest for a free $100 gift card. All right, look at you. I just said it and it appeared right there. Amazing.
Yeah, I just typed it up really quick to put in.
Oh, I thought it was magic, Gio.
I also want to add to the excitement. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways and a lot of stuff that we're doing. So, special announcement to all the subscribers, anyone listening on X. If you're listening on X, come on over to YouTube, by the way. Just support the YouTube. We're going to be pushing a lot of content through here. But next week, I'm doing a giveaway of my own.
Ooh.
$50 to Caneswear on me.
Wow. Look at Gio stepping up. If you don't subscribe to this channel, you're losing money, Gio. It sounds like.
Yeah, we're giving out free money.
Free money. All right. Well, that's awesome to hear. Well, that is great stuff. A lot of exciting times. We know this format. We're going to be trying to do every Tuesday and Thursday. Gio is doing his regular lives, throughout the week when big news is happening. He did a live the other day. Monster rating show. So many people tuned in. What day was that, Gio? Sunday or?
Yeah, that was Sunday. I think it was like late Sunday. Yeah,
late Sunday, and then impromptu show, and just everybody turned in for that one. I'm not going to feel bad, Gio, that did better than when I'm on here or when Mondo's on with you. But however it works, we are all about the team.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Second time we said that today. So, all right. So remember, your questions and comments are very important. Very important here today. So send them out. We're going to get to them in a few minutes. Gio, tell us what's hot. 87 days. The best player to play in Canes history. 87 was probably the
Reggie Wayne.
Reggie Wayne, exactly. We've had a few others, including Juan Manuel's favorite player from last year that was 87, but we won't mention that. So 87, Reggie Wayne. There was a wide receiver, a record-setting wide receiver with the Miami Hurricanes that started off as number 87. Okay, it's in the last few years. Can you name that guy, Gio?
Started off as 87.
We can leave that to the fans too. If it's no looking it up, but there is a guy 80 started off as 87. Let's see the first person to give us that answer.
Started in recent years?
Yes, in recent years.
No.
Obviously, Brett Wynn stumped the Gio. Thank you very much.
Are you sure?
I at least I read it. Maybe they're confusing it with something else. It is possible. It said 87. He didn't play in there, but his early moments in there, he was 87. I don't recall it, to be honest. I think it's wrong now that I think about it, because I know this player personally. And so I don't know if he ever played in 87. He plays 87 in the NFL, so maybe that's where they got it from. But it did say the Miami Hurricanes, he was number 87 to start his career. Freshman.
No. So well, if I'm thinking that this is the same player, Xavier Restrepo, he actually started off. So the story behind it, he was number 80 when he arrived to Miami. His really good friend that he played high school football with at Deerfield, Bryce Gowdy, had passed away. Really tragic accident and whatnot. The kid was about to go to Georgia Tech and everything. So he switched from 80 when he had arrived at Miami to number 7 to honor his friend.
Okay. So I don't know why it said 87, because I don't remember that either. I remember doing the XR7 logo, which we did for him. So we did that for him. We sold the shirts XR7. So I don't remember 87, but it's on the net. I figured it was true.
Yeah. So that, and I love this mention by Howard Stern, actually, because he also said Yatil Green wore 87 for the Miami Hurricanes. I posted a short on him today, actually.
Correct, yes.
Yatil Green was tremendously talented, athletically, supremely athletically gifted. You're talking about a guy who ran a 4.3, had over a 40-inch vertical when he was coming out of Miami. He had some injury issues at Miami, but he was always uber talented. Jimmy Johnson and the Dolphins
drafted him first round.
Yeah, they drafted him first round, 15th.
First round for Jimmy, and unfortunately he got hurt right away.
Yeah, his first day of training camp with the Dolphins, Yatil Green, he tore his ACL. The following year in training camp, he tore his ACL again. He was never the same as a player when he was in the NFL. But if you're a Hurricane fan and you're around in that era. You're watching the 90s. I know it was a rough one, the mid 90s, but he was definitely one of those bright spots during that era. Just insanely talented. And I know he's really close still with a bunch of guys that played with the program, like Lamar Thomas and Michael Irvin and those guys. I know they actually hang out still quite a bit.
All right, yeah, Yatil Green, that's right. We did have the video about him, and he is one of the more underrated receivers. Nobody talks about Yatil Green.
You know what's funny?
You mentioned great receivers in Miami history, and he was a first-round pick in the NFL.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that though, Brett, is I think this happens with quite a few players that if their teams didn't have a whole bunch of success, they kind of get lost in the shuffle. If you really think about it.
True.
Like you look at like Duke Johnson, like Duke, he set a whole bunch of records and everything he did, but never had the team's success consistently throughout his career. So sometimes when people think of Miami Hurricane running backs, Duke doesn't always come up as one of the first. Some people will think of Edgerrin James or Willis McGahee or Clinton Portis, or even though Duke will come up in those conversations, 9 times out of 10, people are not bringing him up as like the first guy. And I think some of that has to do with the team's success, unfortunately.
And Duke was not only a great running back. I mean, he was a great kick returner.
Yeah.
I mean, he was excellent. So, no, you're right. He was a beast and a great guy. Still works. I think he works for the program now, comes into the store sometimes. Great family. He played at a time. If he would have been playing with the teams that we have with those offensive lines, and even though we had a pretty good offensive line, some of those guys got drafted and got second, third contracts that blocked for Duke. But you're right, Duke would have been up there in the upper echelon of Miami Hurricane running backs. I think he's definitely still a top 10 Miami Hurricane running back, maybe a top 5 to some people.
Yeah, I think he's in that top 5 range with the career that he had and everything. I even look back to a guy like Stacy Coley, who another very similar story like Yatil Green, where really talented guy, had a lot of injuries. Like even in college, Stacy had a lot of injuries, but always made huge plays. Anytime he played against Florida State, he would show up. He would always make huge plays in those games. And that's a guy that may get lost in the shuffle over time with history because his teams didn't have a lot of success either. It's unfortunate that it happens, but it is what it is. Let's continue on here, my friend. Athletic director wise, I know many people have had the questions like, what happened with Michael Yormark and that whole saga and everything. Because, if you were tuned in very well with the program or just listening to things back then at the time during the playoff run, Yormark was actually a face that surfaced up when Miami played in the playoffs against Ole Miss. He was actually at that game. Spoke with a few people that were sitting right in front of him at that game. And hey, the guy was super pro Canes. He was celebrating everything for them. Not many people knew like all the background on him, that, he was owner of the Florida Panthers for quite some time. And basically, Brett, there was a lot of pushback on all that. I'm sure this has been very well publicly reported at this point. I think it's very unlikely he ends up getting the gig just because of the public perception thing too. They want to make a great hire, obviously, but the other thing too is how things look from a national perspective, how things look from an approval rating from boosters on down to supporters of the program is a really big thing. Jim Frivola, a name that's come up a lot. You asked me, I think he's a really good fit.
I think he'd be a great choice.
Yeah, I think he's a really good fit for Miami. He's a grad. Not saying he's the only guy that they could or should hire, but I think of the names that are publicly out there, because all this stuff is being done very well behind the scenes. Not much is leaked out. But if Jim Frivola was the hire, I think it's a home run. I think, I shouldn't say I think. I know that there's a lot of programs around the country that would love to hire him in any type of administration capacity at their school, but he's got a really good job. He's got a really good gig and everything. Really, it boils down to, does he want to come back to Miami? Hey, Dan Radakovich did it. Who knows? Maybe Jim does the same too. I mean, I think Miami's a very unique situation where that logo, the brand itself, it's a national brand, but where it's going to be heading in the near future with what Mario Cristobal is doing here and
Absolutely.
national relevance of the program again. Yeah, I think it's a very tough offer to pass up.
No, totally agree. I mean, I think the next athletic director, if we pick the right one, I mean, with the right coaching staff, with the right recruiting, with the right obviously NIL program that we have, I mean, it's going to be the greatest job in college right now. I mean, so hopefully we get the right guy, just like we got Sam Jankovic, and obviously, who knew if he was the right guy then? I mean, he brought Jimmy in, which was obviously a big thing. Did you lose me?
Yeah, your camera's cutting in and out.
Yeah,
of it.
no, yeah, Mike. So let me go ahead and just sign. I have to go to the back room.
Meanwhile, we're waiting for Brett to have some technical difficulties sorted out. In other news, the Florida High School Athletics Association this week, and also some news that surfaced today as well. I'm sure everyone knows at this point all the craziness with the transfers from these kids transferring from one high school to another, and from spring to fall being at a different program, sometimes going back to another same high school again and everything. It's crazy. There's definitely quite the transfer portal in the high school football ranks in South Florida and even across the country too. However, there are some things that the FHSAA has passed that, hold on a second.
I have to go screenless or backgroundless. I see Max from Canes Command Center. You pulled him up, or?
Yeah. So where I was at was on the FHSAA and the things that they have put into approval now. I was talking about the crazy wild west with the transfer portal for high school, not just college, but kids transferring from one high school to another throughout the offseason, year over year. Guys maybe at 3, 4, 5 different high schools by the time they're done with their prep career. But not saying that's going to entirely come to an end, but a little bit of that's going to be circumvented. So, Brett, I came to find out, this is within the last 5 to 6 years, give or take. I'm not saying this only goes on in South Florida, but I know of a scenario in South Florida where kids are taking Florida Virtual School, which is basically you're doing homeschool on a computer, and attending a high school, obviously, for athletic sports and everything. Nothing's wrong with that, but the thing is, has to do with zoning as well. So, Brett, I kid you not, there are coaches in South Florida that have literally rented out like small little townhomes or apartments and everything.
That is crazy.
They shack up multiple kids in one place that they're all living there, and they're just taking virtual classes, and then they're showing up for football practice in the afternoons when they're required. It's the most insane thing. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to snitch or anything. Look, bottom line is this. That was crazy hearing that story in itself, and it was kind of confirmed to me afterwards that it was actually a real thing. Actually, a few prominent recruits within the last 4 or 5 years were like kind of involved in that, which is crazy. Here's the thing, though. What the FHSAA has pushed now is that if you are zoned, like living in an area, like let's say, for example, you're in Miami-Dade County, you're down in Homestead or the sort, you can no longer transfer out of your county. Like you could transfer to any school within your county, but you cannot transfer out of the county. So for example, let's say you live in Miami Gardens, but you want to go play for St. Thomas Aquinas. Miami Gardens is still considered Miami-Dade. Now, hop and skip over with a rock and everything a few blocks down, you obviously have, Miramar and Carroll City surrounding areas. But if you're Miami Gardens, that's Dade County. If you're Carroll City, Dade County.
Dade County, exactly.
So you have to play within your county. Now, the other big shoe that dropped, which I love this that the Florida High School Athletic Association is going to do, they are going to have an open 8 division playoff. So, Brett, what this means is that what they're going to do is they're going to take it's like a computer ranking. So think of like a BCS computer rankings from Max Preps, who covers a lot of the high school stuff for this, all the athletics. And based on their their state of Florida ranking, South Florida and everything, that these teams will play in a playoff against each other regardless of classification. So instead of the old like 7A plays with 7A, 6A plays with 6A, none of that. If you're one of those top 8 teams, you're all going into a playoff together, which I think is really neat. So there's going to be 2 pods. There's a pool A, pool B, depending on the seeding of the computer rankings, which I think might be a little controversial for people, but I think they need to do it because you also have private school teams that they'll beat up on a cupcake schedule for 8 games during a high school season. And you're just going to give them an automatic spot. So I think scheduling is going to become very important for the Florida teams. But look, I'm definitely excited for that. And the other thing, too, is they're planning to make that championship game. It would be here in South Florida.
Really?
Yeah. So that would be going on every year, basically in like the middle of December.
Would that be, are they planning on having it at the Hard Rock?
They're still discussing exactly like the venue and whatnot, but I'm sure Hard Rock's been discussed. Traz Powell, obviously. Hey, maybe even Beckham's new stadium, but I doubt that.
All right, well, that'll be exciting. So we'll hear more about that, Gio. That was awesome. What else we got? We got 5 more minutes before we get to question and comments, Gio.
Yeah. So recruiting wise, I know a bunch of people came here for that. Here's the thing. Let's get right into the meat and bones and the potatoes. 5-star linebacker Caden Henderson. I'm sure everyone's been hearing a bunch of buzz since the weekend. Yes, the buzz is very real. It's not fake. It's not drummed up or anything. Miami's very much in the recruitment. They have been for some time now. Texas A&M, they are not as confident as they were before. I've mentioned this for a few weeks now that LSU's no longer really been in the picture. Ohio State was pretty much fading away as well. He's no longer going to take the visit to Ohio State now. And the other thing about it is his Notre Dame visit is not until not even this weekend from what I understand, unless he moves it up, but it's originally scheduled for June 19th. He has a commitment date. It's the first week of July. I believe it's July 1st. There is a chance that that commitment timeline could move up. And Brad, I'll say this, Miami, they have been pushing aggressively in this recruitment for the past week now. I mentioned it on my Discord over a week ago, mentioned it again over on Sunday. I dropped a pretty nice sizable update for a bunch of people subscribed in the Discord. Just a bunch of notes on recruiting. Some things I'll share tonight and some other things that were from Sunday. But Miami's in their best position right now with this recruitment, I would say basically since February. Because like before leading up to this recruiting cycle, like when the real recruiting calendar begins for this class in January, you know, Miami was like the favorite in-state school. He was kind of forming like what his out-of-state options were. So no one really knew at the time, like what were the true top schools, like the true top group for him. But time went on, Texas A&M kind of surfaced up. Some other programs try to get involved, but mostly it's been Texas A&M throughout the whole way. There's a chance maybe he doesn't take that Notre Dame visit. I'm not saying for sure yet, but I think Miami's much more in this recruitment than some people have thought, maybe nationally. I know some people have thought he would be like a dead ringer for Texas A&M, and that's not the latest feedback over the last, let's see, what's today, Tuesday evening, over the last 3 days. That hasn't been the feedback. He just came off his Texas A&M visit, and they're actually feeling a little lukewarm about their chances. Wow. Yeah, they're not as confident as before, which I found really interesting. But yeah, for the most part, I shared it last week that Miami's been taking a very aggressive approach. Basically they're pushing for him at the same time as they're pushing for 5-star defensive end DJ Jacobs out of the state of Georgia, who he's been committed to Ohio State basically end of December, beginning of January, right around that area when Miami was going to play Ohio State in the playoffs. Quite the shocker when he picked the Buckeyes back then. Even, you can see the parents were quite shocked too. But Miami has stayed consistent and true through the whole way. They hosted him this spring. They've hosted him multiple times. He's visited on campus, game day, everything of the sorts. I've shared multiple times, 2 dates that I've heard potentially for visits for him was the June 5th weekend or June 19th. No one can say for sure yet whether he was or wasn't on campus or anything. And the reality is Miami's not going to divulge that information to people if he was or was not. There's only one truthful thing that could be said without a shadow of a doubt, though, that there have been people in Jacobs' camp that have been in communication with Miami over the last 2 weeks. Now, that could mean various of things. I will say there are people within his camp that are very close to the South Florida area, like very, very close. So I think people just got to let the chips fall how they may. And there's one other fact that can be shared as well. DJ Jacobs wants to make a final decision this summer before his senior year, that whether it's he sticks with Ohio State, he flips to Miami, Oregon and Tennessee are chasing as well. I'd say Oregon's really the one more alive there of those two. But Miami's got a puncher's chance. That's all you can ask for. They have a real puncher's chance to potentially win that recruitment. I don't think there's anything really more that Miami can show him, like in person or any of that sort. I think really it just boils down to he's just got to make a decision. Does he want to be a does he want to be a Buck?
We have a better chance to get him out of the two that you just mentioned.
If I had to say today, this is gonna sound crazy because I thought totally different at this time last week, but things have shifted a lot. It's crazy because of how NIL is and just how things move quickly. A week ago, I would have said DJ Jacobs, even though I still think Miami's got a good to decent shot there. I think Miami has a better shot with Caden Henderson right now. And some of the stuff I was getting back from last week was that basically, if Miami landed DJ Jacobs relatively soon, like in the near future this summer, that could put a lot of pressure for Caden Henderson to be in the class. And I think just in general, like he sees like what's going on with Miami's recruiting class right now and the guys that are jumping into the class, it's hard, really, really, really hard to ignore. So moving along with a few other key names that I know a lot of people have been wondering about and everything. The 4-star receiver, Eli Woodard from the state of California, originally from Missouri. He visited the California Golden Bears over the weekend. Still up in the air if he's going to end up visiting UCLA or not. He visited Miami the other week. I would be lying if I said that this is a automatic shoe-in recruitment for Miami anymore. They've done very well recruiting him. I don't want to trip up on my words here or say something that someone may take the wrong way when I say this. I'm not saying that Miami's out of it. They're still within this recruitment, but I think it's going to be more of a battle than people were initially anticipating. And that's because Cal just came in with the full court press, just all out blitz with his recruitment, even from a NIL standpoint. And Miami's done very well in terms of that aspect too, and even the whole recruitment process with him and everything. Miami was the reason why he decommitted from USC. Basically, we're talking about 3-4 weeks ago when he did. I just think it's not going to be the easiest finish to get to that line, to cross the finish line with him. Miami's going to have to continue battling there, and that's fine. Look, hey, at the end of the day, you want to recruit great talent, other teams are going to come after them. And I think that's something that Miami fans have come to accept and understand, that there are certain battles that you're going to have to deal with along the way. Next name that I'll mention, Anthony Cartwright. I shared this on Sunday in the Discord. It was like early to late Sunday afternoon. I mentioned with him, the 4-star tight end out of the state of Michigan, that Oregon was a team to watch in his recruitment. This could be verified by the people on my Discord. I actually got a text from someone telling me like, hey, this kid just got a crystal ball this afternoon to Oregon. He actually visits Eugene this weekend.
Wow.
He just came off his Miami visit. Look, I think it was a little surprising to some people, considering that, Miami decided to take the approach like, hey, you know what? We do want to take him, like, because there was some questions about some injuries beforehand and whatnot and everything, but everything was cleared with that coming into this past weekend. Visit went well. He was loving it out there. And he left without the commitment, which is not always a bad thing. Sometimes, kids, they let it simmer down for a day or two or anything like that. Like I said, we'll see what happens, but that about Oregon on Sunday, and here comes a crystal ball. I don't know where the crystal ball came from, but I got a text about it, and we'll see. And for this upcoming weekend, the really big one, a full court press by Miami this time, having local 4-star safety Andre Hippolyte from North Miami Beach on campus for his official visit. He's already visited Minnesota. I've mentioned several times before his relationship with Nick Monroe. Already visited Florida, which he has some family ties are there. Miami's been recruiting him for a very, very long time. One of the very, very first Power 4 teams to identify him early on in the process. I think Brett is having technical difficulties again. And the other programs in the mix too, Georgia, Notre Dame, both trying to get official visits scheduled there and at everything. But Miami's going to put the full court press this weekend. He is, and I've been saying it for quite some time now, he is the safety they want to add to the class. They want to pair him with Jalen Jones. They love him as a prospect. They think he is a glove fit as a safety in Corey Heatherman's defense. But they're definitely going to have to battle with Florida. This is not going to be one of those easy ones. But they're going to push this weekend, and they're going to get an extra boon alongside the coaching staff this weekend by way of 5-star Dante Wright. He's had some plans to come back even after taking his official visit. He's plans to come back this weekend to help recruit Andre Hippolyte. So I think that's great news and welcome news overall. If things don't shake out well with that or anything of the sort, if it doesn't go Miami's way, as I've shared before, Tayshawn Poole, the safety from Macon, Georgia, tentatively has a visit set for June 19th of the following weekend. So Miami's got certain plans set in place. And the other thing I'll mention about Anthony Cartwright that I missed earlier, Miami already had this position beforehand, even before they kind of made the determination that they'd be willing to take him coming into the official visit this past weekend. They also had the understanding amongst each other that they were willing to take things into the fall, into the regular season with the high school, and kind of evaluate tight ends as well throughout their senior season. So, look, if it doesn't work out with the Cartwright thing, I think they'll be fine. They'll find someone. They found Gavin Mueller last year, very late in the cycle. So, and let's see, there was a few last notes I'll mention here. 2028. I don't want to go too far to 2029. Only one thing I'll mention about 2029.
I hear 2030.
Yeah, no, not that far.
For an auctioneer for a second. Okay, go.
One thing I think is worth mentioning for 2029, though, Miami had this quarterback on campus over the weekend, but CJ Seifert, class of 2029, Miami's been zeroing in on him for some time now. He is a reclassification candidate. It's not set in stone that he's going to do so, but it's potentially on the table. He could become a 2028. They really love him. I'll share this. They've reached out to a few of us in the past, like just like, hey, like we really like this kid and everything. And they've been very open and transparent about it with people, how much they really like this kid as a prospect. So things have been going very well there. He's obviously going to have a national recruitment. Texas, Georgia, all these teams have offered him early on, but Miami's definitely going to be one of the main contenders for him. His recruitment's still a whole year to potentially 2 years out, so we'll have to see. But another big name I'll mention from the 2028 class, Casey Barner, who was on campus over the weekend. He actually plays for Raw Miami. I think he's a name for Miami fans to know for next recruiting cycle. Is the number one safety in the country, plays for a pro Miami, like a very pro Miami 7-on-7 team, which I think definitely doesn't hurt. It's definitely helped Miami. Malachi Tony came out of that 7-on-7 program. Bryce Fitzgerald. So some recent stars for the program have come out of that 7-on-7 team. So I definitely think that doesn't hurt. And any last notes I want to share here? So other things. 2 guys from Jacksonville Bulls for the class of 2028. 5-star defensive end Asher Giotto, who Miami's been recruiting now for about a year and a half. There's some discussions even about it. Like, I got some questions about it over the weekend. People asked me like, hey, is this kid going to reclassify or not? Or blah, 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 blah. Basically those questions. And last I heard, and I believe this still holds true to the same now, is that he would likely be sticking in his class in 2028. I mentioned that on Sunday that, people were asking that question. The feedback I got onto that was that he would be sticking in 2028. And I believe that still is the plan. And his teammate, 4-star running back Xander Edwards, Miami has been recruiting him for quite some time too. He actually broke Derrick Henry's high school football record for rushing yards in a single game in the state of Florida, which is insane in itself. But he's definitely a big time early target for Miami for next cycle. Miami likes the running backs, especially the big running backs that can actually run as well. He is one of those guys. He is a guy they've circled early on. Definitely Miami will be a player there. And there's 2 more names I'll share here, and we can move on to some questions. Mentioned this on Sunday as well. Dennis, I don't want to butcher his name, Dennis Tuawan, who also plays for Raw Miami, is out of the state of Utah. His father was actually a University of Miami graduate from the background that I've gotten. He's originally from South Florida as well, the kid himself. He grew up a Hurricane fan. Miami's going to be very tough to beat if they decide to, if they want to go all in on him. He had a really good showing as well over the weekend. If they decide to go all in, they're going to be tough to beat. And the last name I'll mention, Tremont.
Did you mention that guy's name, or I just zoned out?
Dennis Tua.
Tua. Okay. Well, I just wanted to hear you say it again, I think. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Usually I get the names right, but that one's a tough one. Yeah, I got to find out the pronunciation and everything. I don't want to butcher the kid's name. And last one I'll mention here is 4-star receiver Tremont Isaac Jr. out of Chaminade Madonna Prep. Miami is definitely going to be a program that's going to be a mainstay in his recruitment. There was some discussion that he could potentially reclass himself, but very likely to stay in 2028. Oh, and one last thing, 5-star athlete Aiden Johnson out of Broward. I believe he's still in Broward County. Not sure which high school he's at now. I know he was playing at West Broward before with Amir Sears. But Aiden Johnson, Miami's going to be very tough to beat there as well. I would say Miami is the early favorite. So just a few quick hitters and whatnot throwing out there. 2028 is still some time away, but I do think we're going to be talking about it a lot here very soon because, Brett, Miami, they're getting close to wrapping up their 2027 class. They're going to close out with what they're working on for the summer. There may be a few names they'll chase after in the fall. One other name that I think is interesting that's come up quite a bit, Jaden Upshaw, who's the cousin of Dalen Upshaw and Jatori Williams, who's in Miami's recruiting class now. His name's come up quite a bit. You know, he's been committed to Texas A&M for a little while now. I don't know. We'll see if Miami can gain some traction there or whatnot. Maybe they pivot there if things don't work out with Eli Woodard. But Miami has several options. And also Quentin Hale, the receiver from the state of California. Look, maybe the official visit doesn't happen now, but I've shared this several times. I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like him or a Myson Johnson-Cook ends up at Miami at some point in the fall for a game day visit. It happens so many times.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, that is a lot. Hope everybody was taking notes. And Gio will be back for more lives on his own for like 30-minute shows to talk about recruiting and anything like that as well. So great job, Gio. Awesome. We got a lot going on. So going over the linebacker, Caden Harris.
Caden Henderson.
Henderson, him too. Okay, so Caden Henderson, he's linebacker. Right now we've got the best two linebackers we've had since Quarterman and Pickney, correct, in the class?
I would say even beyond them.
So if we get Caden Henderson in addition to that, I mean, that's the best linebacker class we've had since when? Since like the 90s? I mean, it's been a while.
You'd have to go back to the days of like when Miami was landing guys like Leon Williams, John Beeson. So early 2000s.
Okay, so it's
early 2000s time Miami's recruited.
And Miami was linebacker U for a long time. I know Penn State talked about it as well, but you know, we obviously the Bermuda Triangle in the 80s with Darren Smith and Jesse Armstead and Michael Barrow, and we had the great ones in the early 2000s. And you're right, John Beeson, obviously. So we definitely it's been a while since we've dominated at that position. And I think that's the thing we're missing right now from being a complete team that's able to mow teams down. So once we get that linebacker situation, we do think they're going to be improved quite a bit this year, correct? With Muhammad Torrey and others coming back. So it's just all exciting news. This is people come to the store all the time. They're not only excited about what happened last year, they're excited about what's going to happen this year. But then they're so excited about what's happening, all the recruits we're getting in 2027. I mean, I have not seen the fans this high on the program in a long, long time.
Well, Brett, look at this. Depending on which recruiting site you look at, I believe on ESPN, Miami's ranked at number 3 in the country for the recruiting class. Mind you, it's not going to be a big class, so it's big time quality over quantity this time. Mm-hmm. It's just wow. And if you look at rivals, they're number 2 in the country.
Wow.
If you look at 247, they're number 3, but right on the cusp of number 2. So
that's amazing that we're in the top 3 right there.
Consensus top 3 right now.
And these organizations don't even like Miami. So it's like it's amazing.
I think things change very quickly. You know, I could go down the whole rabbit hole of how like the whole ranking system is and whatnot. And when I worked in the recruiting industry a long time ago, but look, I think also it goes hand in hand too. That helps in recruiting, like even the rankings wise. If your program is winning and you're sending guys to the NFL and you're sending a bunch of guys to the draft, I think you start getting the benefit of the doubt from guys that are doing the evaluations from some of these sites. They're like, hey, you know, like this kid's committed to Miami, but you know, he's ranked a little lower. Maybe we need to bump him up because, you know, Miami knows a little something.
Good point. Good point for sure. So
it's never a perfect science.
Never. So, all right. So we're going to get the questions and comments. We see a lot on the board. See a lot of new faces, new names. Remember, $100 gift card. We're going to announce next Thursday at this time, actually at 9:30. So get in, subscribe. If you go on Instagram, there's you can like some of our team members, Ava and Kane's Muse, as well as. But if you're just going right on and going ahead and following that, just go ahead and subscribe, and we're going to pick a winner for a $100 gift card, the biggest gift card we've given out. And we're going to announce that live on this show at 9:30. So we are excited about that. If you put notifications, you're going to get a lot of notifications as well, like the sale that's going on right now for this week, Father's Day and our 16th anniversary, only on the app. Gio, $16 off a $25 purchase or more. So lots of good things going on, and we are pumped. So without any further ado, Gio, we're going to get to the questions and comments. Always the best part of the show.
Yep. Juan Manuel said hello. Well, Juan Manuel was here 2 hours before.
I just tell you, remember talking to Andy on the phone. He says, "You guys on?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "He said it's 8:15." He says, "You think I can be first?" I said, "I think Juan Manuel's already waiting," and he was. Good job, Juan Manuel. We appreciate it.
He said, "Brennan Sorsby, this is no betting zone." He also said, "Gio and Brett, I'm concerned Nick Saban and the deep state swap of college football will try to implement rules to slow Miami's momentum down. They see another Canes dominant dynasty lurking ahead." Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think there's only so much that they could do to NIL. It's once that genie comes out of the bottle, it's very hard to put it back.
And they don't have the NCAA president in their pocket anymore.
Yeah. Andy said hello. Vic and Bastian. Hey guys, thank you for stopping by. He said first time live. Hey, thank you for stopping by, first timer. One Manuel said, "I'm betting Sorsby wiped his butt with the NCAA written toilet paper." Well, I'll share this. I saw a post. This Miami fan that I know is named CIA. He's a really nice guy that I've known for some years now, and he shared it today. I don't think it's exactly from Sorsby's Instagram. I think it's just like one of those troll things, but it literally says, "Hey, something about I just got to bet on myself." When I saw that, Brett, like my jaw dropped. I'm like, "There's no way this kid just posted that." Like,
I know. I think it was Dan Patrick's show. Someone sent me just talking about. There's no way you can just change somebody. All of a sudden, you're no longer an addict. I mean, unfortunately, addiction to gambling is no different outside addiction to other things like alcohol, cigarettes, whatever it is. I mean, addiction to gambling is very difficult to get out from under, and it's a sad situation. And they have to prove if they don't do anything to this kid. And I understand it was 4 Texas Tech judges or whatever. If they don't do anything to this kid, everybody's going to be allowed to do it. And like he did it. He did it. Heck, Pete Rose may do it. May rest in peace.
Let's see here. Andy said NCAA has just declared the Texas. Yeah, that's what we were talking about, Andy. One Manuel said, "Hey, Mister, hey, can I bet in the casino? Struck out and asked my mom to demand my money back. Why not? Why can't?" That's funny. One Manuel, they can't stop Miami if they tried. Mario has adapted to all the changes in college football better than any other coach in the country. Very true. I've always been on that kick saying that Mario Cristobal has adapted as a coach, even at Miami. I think he's evolved as a coach.
He has definitely evolved.
Canes Command Center, thank you for stopping by. Absolutely. By the way, you know what? Shout out to Canes Command Center. He launched something this week that one of the best interactive things I've seen in quite some time for fans to look at, like from roster, like just the whole website that he created between like how the roster is displayed on there, depth chart system, the information behind the recruits and the whole map behind it and everything. I highly suggest it, guys. Go look up Canes Command Center on Google. Look him up on X. Follow him on X. Really, really nice guy. And it's really, really great stuff with what he's doing.
Absolutely. Everyone that's looking at it is impressed and amazing what he put together there. For a Canes fan, it's absolutely great job, Max. Phenomenal. CanesCommandCenter.com or check out on the Google or Apple store as well.
Yeah. So let's continue on here. Mr. Hey, Andy said, "I saw it on ESPN Instagram. Don't see it on ESPN. Kane Girl 23 said, me. Thank you for stopping by, Kane Girl.
Kane Girl 23. All right.
Deepwater 1301. Oh, shit. Show started on time. Yeah. So Deepwater, a little insider to that, actually. We have a producer / manager of sorts behind the scenes. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. You're going to see there's going to be a lot of stuff kicking up and ramping up with all of this.
Yeah, we're definitely one of the things is to start on time. It's we're definitely doing that. So it's a lot more structure, which is still going to be our craziness, but it is all about the you, and it's all about you too. Our amazing, phenomenal Canes family, Caneswear TV family. We appreciate you. We're going to start coming out a lot of Canes TV gear too. I think we need to start having shirts, Caneswear TV, a lot of other cool things. So, and that's going to be fun as well.
Absolutely. And Let's see. Howard Stern, one of my favorite viewers. I always love his sometimes crazy takes, but sometimes very on point too. He said, DJ Jacobs and Henderson, what percentage you put on them? Well, I spoke about it earlier, but I think, you asked me a week ago. I thought Jacobs over Henderson would be more likely. Even though I still think Miami's got a good shot with Jacobs, I put Henderson over Jacobs now. Let's see. Nico Cooper said, will the U be switching back to Nike/Jordan in 2027 or remaining with the current apparel company? Well, I can share with you this, Nico. Miami's actually really happy with Adidas, like very, very happy. I would be surprised if they went back to Nike or Jordan. I mean, at the end of the day, money talks, like especially when it comes to an apparel deal of that. But there hasn't been much gripes. I mean, there was some gripes in the beginning with like the bird feather jerseys and everything, and Miami got that wiped quick. But for the most part, they've been very happy for some time now. We're talking about over 10 years now. They've been pretty happy with what Adidas has provided, what they've provided to the players, with the cleats and just everything in general. And Adidas is especially, they're trying to push Miami more as their flagship program now in college football. And not only that, for the people that are against Adidas, look, I wear both brands. I wear Adidas stuff. I wear Nike. To me, it doesn't really matter so much the brand and whatnot. I think both have good stuff. However, if you pay attention to the high school football scene and the high school basketball scene down here in South Florida, Adidas is taking over all the high schools right now, like left, right. So
people were brought up on Nike at first. I hear it all the time. Why we have Nike? Well, Nike didn't pay as much money. Adidas paid more. Also, these camps, Paradise Camp, Adidas was the one that sponsored the camps now. Legends Camp. I mean, there's a lot of advantages, and wait till you see the jerseys this year. They're going to be fantastic. But I know I see people sometimes they say, oh, there was that gray jersey we had with no names or white numbers. Oh, we love that jersey. If Adidas comes out, that's what Nike. Adidas comes out with those cool camel jerseys. Oh, we hate that. So it's but I do believe Adidas is in the driver's seat. But anything's possible. You also have two strong schools in Penn State and Tennessee with huge fan bases just come over. Leave Nike for Adidas. So there's a lot happening. And Miami is a flagship school. You're 100% correct. They're one of the key schools for Adidas, which is great.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, like I said, money talks. And I don't think it's exactly 2027. Brett, if I remember correctly, that deal wraps up, I think it's 2028. Actually.
Well, they signed the deal in 14. So technically 26 would be the last year. 27 we should hear. So 26, because I started in a new store in 14. That's when we first got Adidas. Well, they signed that, but I don't think we got the stuff until 15. So by next year, but I'm pretty confident it will be Adidas, but anything is possible. Anything is definitely possible. Nike has, they've got so many schools. They got Alabama, they've got Ohio State, they've got other schools up there, and if they gave Miami a lot of money, they'd have to go ahead and give every one of those schools more money. Look, going to be the top of the food chain.
I'll say this when it comes to like the gear and the apparel. I like the Adidas stuff. I think Adidas has given a lot more of variety of things to the fans compared to what was going on with Nike at the end of that tenure.
Oh,
like Nike wasn't treating Miami the same.
Correct.
The other thing, I know it's still within the same umbrella, Nike and Jordan, obviously, but in an alternate reality, I think it would be pretty cool to see Miami as a Jordan school. However, I don't think it would ever happen because of the massive pushback that Florida would give because they're a Jordan school now.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Miami and Florida being the same schools, the same sponsors. But we'll see. We should find out soon. But anything is possible. But when you see the line this year, you're going to say, holy mackerel, this is unbelievable. The line that they're coming out with, which will be released. We'll be releasing items early July, probably. Not everything, but a lot will start coming out then.
Deepwater said Nike and Jordan over Adidas. Hey, look, everyone has their own preference. Money Counter 305. What's up, Gio and Brett? Let's go get number six.
Absolutely. Speaking of 6, Santana Moss, one of my favorite all-time players on the Canes.
What was the first number he wore at Miami?
That's a good question, Gio. Why don't you tell me?
You don't know?
I think I know, but I can't recall. It's 83?
No.
What was it?
48.
48? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That one I don't remember too well.
Let's see. Juan Manuel said, $100 gift card. I came from planet Uranus to participate in the contest.
The pearls from Juan Emmanuel.
Kings Command Center. Thank you. As always, Max. Jacoby Graggs. Thank you for always supporting. Go Canes. Sergio said, Arizona tea sale. Everything $1.
There you go. I like it, Sergio. I think it's the sale Sergio has in real estate, too. It's like everything's $1.
Canes Jones, thank you as always for stopping by. He said, take his Caneswear cash before he changes his mind. What's up, guys? Go Canes.
Canes Jones, always a super fan of the program. Thank you for stopping by.
Howard Stern said, Gio, Amir Sears has been really quiet. What's the word on him? Pop Cooney's talking crazy on X. He's the next Mark Matthews, Texas A&M bound, ? I still think there's so much runway left in Amir Sears' recruitment. And not only that, it's like there was deliberation for some months now whether he was going to move down into this class or stay in his class. Last I heard, he's going to end up staying in 2028 now. There's still time on the clock for kids to change their mind if they want to do so, if they want to move down to this class. He could do it, no problem. He's that talented. But teams in his recruitment, Miami, obviously, it's no secret that he grew up loving Miami. But again, that's not always a guarantee. Miami in the picture, LSU, Texas A&M, Syracuse. I feel like I'm forgetting one school that's also in that picture there. I'm sure I mentioned Texas A&M, but yeah, I still think too early to say if he would be like a Texas A&M guy or whatnot. But Miami's done a tremendous job recruiting him over the years. So look, just a lot of time on the clock in that recruitment. Way too early to say, but I will say this: I do think Pop Cooney's not so much talking a little crazy, even though he said some crazy stuff to some fans recently, but he started, I had this shared in a group chat because Brett, I'm not sure if you remember Pop Cooney, but he was on the support staff at Miami for quite some years.
I remember, exactly.
And then he went over to Texas A&M. So he left a post actually from a Miami fan, I believe it was within the last 24 hours, where it's talking about like a certain recruit that Texas A&M is still going after. And it was something about like, you got to be in the Canes uniform and everything. And he liked it. And the guy shared in our group chat. He's like, look at this guy. He's trying to troll me. Yeah. So I do think, Miami owes Texas A&M one on the trail. Canes 787 PR. Go Canes. Thank you for stopping by. Juan Manuel. Ava looks better than Gio and Brett. Plus, she doesn't need to shave.
Well, there's a news flash for you, Juan Manuel. We're glad you still have eyes. Ava looks better than us. Okay, that's really tough, but yes, she does, and
Here's the thing, Juan. This is exactly why Ava is going to be showcasing a lot of items and everything. She's great in front of the camera.
She is phenomenal. One day she will be on ESPN or something. We're just blessed to have her on our team.
Jacoby Gregg said Santana Miles Xavier. Strap Philly Kane 83 68X. Util Green wore 87 for the Miami Hurricane. Amir Sears is class 28. No need to worry.
So just going back there, Go Kane 70, Gio Kane 75 said Restrepo when I said who wore number 87. So he saw that too. Maybe he looked it up just like I did. But Gio's going to the pad and pencil. He's going to the back.
Yeah, I want to verify this because I remember,
like I said it, but
I remember Xavier Restrepo was wearing 80 when he first arrived.
He's 87 with Tennessee, correct? That's what he was first given, Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Tennessee gave him 87. But I know when he got to here we go. This was Xavier Restrepo's first jersey at Miami. 80. That was in the off season.
So that wasn't the Chinese version?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
All right. Gio's sticking with it.
Yeah, number 80. That's what he wore.
All right.
When he first got to Miami. But he never wore it in a game, though, like an actual.
He was 7. He did a signing with him, and Mike Harley did a signing in the store early on. And before they even played, he was number 7 at that time already.
Yeah. Kane787 said, he said, who's the next commit? I think that one's really tough to say. If you had to make me like as a betting man or something, between a guy like I think the possibilities could be a guy like an Andre Hippolyte or Caden Henderson, one of those guys. I think if you ask me right now, this second, but really tough to say because a lot of stuff is moving. Lion Kane 62, Gio, if Malachi was a freshman in 2024, would he have put a dent in Restrepo's senior season? I don't know necessarily by a dent. Because here's the thing that not many people know. Malachi Tony can actually play on the outside as a receiver. Like, he absolutely can. So I think Miami would have figured it out, like, where they would have gotten creative with those two guys. But Malachi Tony, his talent's undeniable.
You can say the same thing. If Restrepo was his senior last season, Malachi probably numbers would have been different also.
Yeah, maybe in part, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say on that. But, yeah, it's obviously two great receivers. Hopefully Xavier gets a chance in the NFL this year. I think he can play in any system, especially with Cam Ward as his quarterback. And but, yeah, so Malachi, we'll see how much Cooper Barcade and Joshua Moore bite into that, and also all the running backs. I mean, the more threats you have, the more difficult it is to have the kind of numbers that Malachi had last year.
Absolutely. Howard Stern, Deepwater, who said the same thing about Mark Panthers? And we said the same thing about Cooper, who's at Texas now. Yeah, well, Howard, here's the thing about Cooper. That was basically, that boiled down to NIL. Now, on Mark Matthews, look, yeah, that was, don't get me started. Blue Green Street, Orange out versus FSU. Yes, they announced the game themes.
They're almost orange on every game. And I think we're camo that one game, right? We don't have any blackout. So we don't have any black. I think, was there a blackout or no? There's one. There's the cancer one, the first game of the season, which is rare. And then there's the orange out for most of the games, but there is the orange out for Florida State.
Yeah.
I saw that earlier. We're always asking Mario for, can we get some green here? People want to wear green too. Can we get some white? The blackout. So yeah, Mario just happy playing in orange.
Yeah, Mario is going straight old school, just the orange and white, not really pushing any of the greens.
Exactly.
I mean, unless it's the green camo jersey though, because Mario loved that thing.
Yeah, we're wearing that on November 21st again, and we are in the camo. But 2020, the 2001 championship team celebration, October 24th. But just think of 2001 will be a theme this season. 25-year anniversary. Quarter of a century, Gio. A quarter of a bleeping century since we won the national championship. 25 years ago. Where were we then?
I mean, I was only 8 years old at the time.
Amazing.
Deepwater 1301. Never felt that way about Matthews, but I hear what you're saying. Kane 787. Let Big Zesty go. Juan Manuel. He was 48. Santana Moss. Hey, Juan knew.
Didn't actually get our duty call it. For some reason, I didn't before, but.
Chris Brown said Howard Stern, Mayor Sears is all Kane. Stop stressing. Jose Gonzalez. Imagine Duke Johnson on last year's team. That would have been crazy. Yeah, I think.
I knew it. Yeah, exactly.
Him and Mark Fletcher would have complemented each other really well on a backfield.
Imagine Cam Ward on last year's team.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Deep one. His name's Howard Stern said Coley was legit. Stacey Coley was legit. Remember the day he signed with Miami? That was a surprise. Supposedly he was Florida State bound. Yeah, well, funny story behind that. Apparently the people close to Stacey Coley, they knew that he was going to Miami for some time. And apparently it's just like a lot of stuff being drummed up by Florida State. But That's the story on that. And then his high school coach was Donald Bennett, who played running back at Miami.
That's right. That's right.
Deepwater K1, top 5 Miami running back Otis Anderson. Yeah. Andy,
I love Mr. Hay. You know, Otis Anderson is my favorite player, and definitely been dissed in the Hall of Fame. 10,000 rushing yards, a great receiver, MVP in the Super Bowl, 2-time Super Bowl winner, Rookie of the Year. I mean, how that guy did not come is not in the NFL Hall of Fame. It's ridiculous. I remember just like yesterday, was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals. I think it was like 7th pick in the draft, and total beast, great receiver. And you know, what number did Otis Anderson wear? Gio. I mean, nobody talks about him wearing that number, only about somebody else wearing the number.
47.
Exactly. But you never hear about and
he was the original 47.
He was the original 47, which is funny because when Andy was with Benny Blades the other day and did something, and Lamar Thomas said the original and truth number 36. It's always cool when the players compliment each other like that, the different generations.
Yeah. Hey, nowadays kids don't want to wear 47 or 36. Yeah. Look, I've always said this because like fans go like, oh, like I wish this player would change their number, or oh, they got an ugly number or whatever. Look, the number does not make the player. The player makes the number at the end of the day, because Michael Irvin made 47 look really good. Eddie Brown made 40 look really good. Otis Anderson made 47 look really good. Like you said, Lamar Thomas, he made 36 look really good. Nowadays, you ask a receiver or DB to wear 36, they'll look at you like you're speaking
It's all about the number now. And Michael and Irvin had to be convinced that he didn't want that. I think he wanted 7, right? And, and Jimmy said, no, at 47, look, you're going to be like a 747 out there. They won't be able to touch you. And he said, all right, I'm going to be a 747.
That's still a great story. Chris Brown said, my bad, Deepwater. Vigan Bastajan said, hey, Gio, thank you for stopping by. B Rabbit, thank you for stopping by. He said, ¿Qué pasa? What do you mean, ¿Qué pasa? What happened? Let's see. Andy said, Jim Frivola, Boyd Anderson, high school grad, Broward County. Yeah.
Right.
Same high school DeMar Dorsey came out of. Really good South Florida.
All right, that's great to know. Hopefully, Jim goes and we can we'll get him on the show and he'll come. You say, Mr. Hay, he's got the inside connection. But you didn't hear that from me.
Yeah. Andy said, I went to school with Jim. Wow.
Look at that.
Geo Kane 75. Let Saban get his way in Alabama. Georgia and the SEC will be paying under the table, and the NCAA won't do anything about it.
True.
True. One man once said, Dwayne Starks, I think, is the best cornerback ever at Miami, but he played on the terrible 97 team. Dwayne Starks had sub 4.3 speed, but 5'10", could hit like a safety and jump like he was 6'2". Yeah, he played. Dwayne Starks came out of Miami Beach High School, actually.
My alma mater. Look at that.
Yeah. Miami Beach High School. He was drafted by the Ravens. Yeah, he gets forgotten because he wasn't on a super great team, but he was a hell of an NFL player. He was a Pro Bowler, actually.
No, he was actually. He was there with a lot of the other Canes. I mean, Philip Dorsett, first-round draft pick. I mean, I know he had that one game at Notre Dame that obviously was the one negative game of his career, but he had a great career with us, Miami, Philip Dorsett. Guys like that, you know, and that was a first-round draft pick when we weren't getting a lot of first-round draft picks.
So Deepwater said, in regard to my comment about the high school kids doing Florida virtual school and being shacked up by a coach in an apartment or townhome with 4 to 5 other players, that he said that's some Bishop Sycamore high school stuff.
That is funny.
Chris Brown, GOK Mario is preparing for what I think if that happens, people do. Howard Stern, well, we need to get rid of these preparatory schools. Kids don't attend the high schools they play for. It's a scam. It's very true. A lot of them are not actually going to the schools. They're just doing virtual school. But that they didn't axe that, though. It's just that these kids have to play within their county, because there's kids crossing counties and they're doing the virtual school, and it's just gotten out of hand. But transfers are still going to happen. I think just a little less now because of growing. I do love the playoff idea, though, for South Florida. Green Tree All-American. I'm assuming Miami re-signed with Adidas. Nothing official yet. Deepwater Geo, you look into that Hayes post that he deleted quick as. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Deepwater. Yeah, I think it was on Instagram. A few people pointed it out in a group chat I'm in. Raymond Rodriguez, hey fellas, great show. When do the new hats drop that you mentioned from 47 brand and others, Brett?
We will start getting things in July. We will have the whole line of the new what are they called again? Build hats? Anyway, brand bills, I think it is. And we've got some Mitchell & Ness coming in. And we've got 47. I'd say we start receiving things in July. Possibly late June, but probably July, which is amazingly less than a month away. I mean, we're almost halfway through June. I mean, we are coming up fast on the season and when we get all this gear. Everybody's waiting for all the new gear. It's really exciting.
Don't just take Brett's word for it. I've heard and seen some things through the grapevine. July will be very exciting.
Absolutely.
Deepwater 1301, Chris and Nicola to Who Deep. Howard Stern said Henderson is torn. It's going to come down to his relationship with his friends on the team. I think that's going to be what gives Miami the edge. Yeah, there's some guys that he's very familiar with here at the Miami program. 14 and 15 and Deepwater. Jalen Seatbelt Waters reposted it and then deleted too. Yeah. Well, funny enough that you mentioned that Deepwater. He is close with a lot of those kids like Jalen Waters, Kellen Wiley. They all played out in that same area. Gerard Pringle too. So there we go. Sergio said, if Miami gets Henderson, what are the odds they can seal the deal and get Jacobs to complete the class? I think it definitely puts a lot of pressure. Deepwater, don't remember if it worked first. So I'm trying, but another person in the chat saw last year. Oh, yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about. Chris Brown said, come on, Deepwater. Howard Stern said, Jacobs Agents, the network agency, is the same agency that represents Malachi Tony. Remember this name, Justin Giangrande. He is Tony's primary agent. You're absolutely right. Let me tell you something. The people are sleeping on Howard Stern, but I think Howard Stern's pretty plugged in.
Absolutely.
I think Howard Stern knows some people because there's a comment Howard Stern shared that not everyone would know. I think it was on a show 2 weeks ago on here. And I spoke about it with Brett afterwards. I'm like, Brett, this guy's got to know someone to know what he just said. So, yeah, you're right on the money, Howard Stern. Very much right on the money.
Howard Stern is somewhere in the program. Thank you for joining us. We got an insider, Gio. There's more than one insider on the show.
Possum Jenkin, thank you for stopping by. Whose recruiting shocks you more, Clemson or Virginia Tech? I don't want to say Virginia Tech is shocking me because I kind of expected that they'd have some juice and be revitalized, bringing in James Franklin to the program. I said it the last few years that Virginia Tech's recruiting just totally crashed compared to what it used to be, like the Beamer days. And even when Fuente was the head coach there for a little bit, he was getting some decent classes early on until things came crashing down. So I do think Virginia Tech could make a strong case in the near future to be the number 2 or number 3 team in the ACC. Maybe not this first year, but give them a year and some change, they're going to be competing. And as for Clemson, look, Dabo could land some guys right now, but if they close out the season poorly again, they're going to lose commits again. They lost a bunch of guys last year. Miami actually poached one in Kashawn Stansel last December. So JV, old friend of mine for 17 years now, he said, Gio, what do you think of Lyle taking horse dewormer? Seriously, man. He always loves to troll. Yes, committed to Canes. Kristen Golden. All right. Deepwater said, we'll see what happens, but I know what I saw and I got no reason it. Yeah, Deepwater, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. It was an Instagram post. I remember Deepwater. Sergio said, how much do you think Dante Wright and Jaden Bryant pushing Henderson and DJ on social media to join the class is helping Miami? Definitely doesn't hurt. I don't see guys from other programs or committed to other programs trying to push those guys, to be honest. It's Miami's guys doing so. I mean, impressive job from Dante Wright. Like
Mhm.
the fact that he already took his OV and he's coming back. That's been the plan, at least. I believe that's
Just
still
to
the
help
plan.
recruit.
Just to help recruit Miami's like final major DB target in Andre Hippolyte this week, and
That's
that's
awesome. Well, listen,
massive.
where else would you rather go than come to campus in Miami and hang out here? And but yeah, they've got some outspoken guys like, and it's very exciting when you've got players recruiting players.
Let's see, 305 Sports Now. Will, thank you for stopping by. You said Geo. Thank you for stopping by,
Ooh.
Will. Deepwater said a certain person, I think stuff like that holds a lot of weight with kids nowadays, especially when they're 5 stars. Yes, I agree.
Mhm.
Like I said before, 5 stars want to play with 5 stars. Kids follow where the hot school is. Miami's a hot school right now. Juan Manuel, Gio, and Brett, who do you think is a better player, Leonard Moore or Malachi Tony? I keep hearing national pundits saying it's not Tony or Jeremiah Smith is best player, but Moore versus Smith. Do you agree? I think here's the thing. I think you could say Jeremiah Smith is more of a freakish receiver than Malachi Tony, but I think you could say that Malachi Tony is the better football player. And what I mean by that is when you talk about a football player all around, like everything that he does, like returning the ball, being able to pass, catch, just he's super dynamic. So is Leonard Moore a better player than Malachi Tony? No. In my opinion, no. Is he a better cornerback? Yeah. Leonard Moore is an insane player as a cornerback, but he's not a better overall football player than Malachi Tony.
I think
I want someone to stack up anyone that could match the things that Malachi Tony can do across the board, playing as a running back, playing as a quarterback, playing as a receiver, returning kicks and punts and everything, just everything that he was able to do at a high level too. I want to see what other players can compare to those same type of numbers, because I think the list, it may only end with Malachi, or maybe you could find one guy close, but not the exact same numbers.
we've had a lot of players that can return punts. Obviously, Kevin Williams. Obviously, quite a few. But Santana Moss stands out to me that he could do it all. I mean, he could run. It was obviously a track star. He could catch. I mean, so Malachi, I think, is most like that. And don't sleep on Santana, because when he was returning punts, or was it punts, he returned two for a touchdown. I think one his sophomore year, and for the next year, he still has the NCAA record. I think, doesn't he, for 4 in a season?
No, the guy that eclipsed him, it was the kid at North Carolina years ago. I forget his name now.
He got 5.
Yeah, that kid got like 6 actually.
He got, wow. Yeah,
but he's the only one that's been able to do it. Like that kid was just a freakish punt returner.
Yeah, that is so. But and then Santana did in the NFL. He's in the Washington Redskins Wall of Fame. I mean, he's an underrated guy, and he played his whole career with Reggie Wayne pretty much. And I think more people thought that Santana was the better of the two, and he was the smaller guy versus the taller guy. I mean, when we said Reggie Wayne would be more like a Devontae Smith, and you've got right here, you've got Jeremiah Smith. I'm sorry, not Devontae Smith. Jeremiah Smith, that was more of a Reggie Wayne type. Reggie Wayne's more like a Jerry Rice probably type player. Not Reggie Wayne, Jeremiah Smith. But I think Malachi can do everything. He can do everything. He can play quarterback too.
Yeah, that's the thing. I do like that you brought up like how dynamic Santana Moss was, especially in his prime, but I don't think even Santana Moss was throwing the ball though. Like I know he was coming out of the backfield. Yeah, he was turns, receiving, and everything. Tremendous track athlete too. But I don't think he was really throwing the ball though. So it's definitely
a quarterback. So he was exactly good point.
Let's see. Raph, the gym dad. Is the communication between Jacobs Camp and Miami more NIL based? Has it gone beyond that? From what you know, do you think he truly wants to be at UM? I think Miami's absolutely on the table. It's definitely been very heavy NIL based with it. So that's all I can share for now. Chris Brown, that's all we can ask of is a great chance. Thanks. What do you think the news? Andy said, Legends Camp was awesome. We had over 50 plus alumni there. Some great old stories and made new ones with the campers and coaches. No Gio, though. Yeah. So, Andy, here's my thing. I love the Legends Camp when it comes to like the alumni and everything, but I am gonna share my actual opinion on it though. I wish the upperclassmen would participate like they did before in the past. Like we're talking about like right up to COVID, basically post COVID, this all changed. This happens at every camp across the country now. It's nothing against what Mario's doing. Like Mario's doing a phenomenal job, but this comes down just to the high school kids now. They don't want to compete anymore in these camps. Like they're already in their final year, and I get it. You know, they don't want to risk an injury or anything. But when these camps were first starting up, like when it was like the Paradise Camp, and then eventually, you know, the Mark Ricks Camp and whatnot, all the top guys within that class year, they were out there competing. They were competing with everyone. It was like a who's who. Like I never forget the summer where Miami had Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, and Mark Pope going back to back to back on different reps that whole afternoon. That it was a legendary event, actually. If you look back on it, it's crazy to think that, you know, Mark Pope was like neck and neck with those guys that day, and the two guys that had the massive success was Jerry Jeudy and Devontae Smith, and it wasn't Pope. But no, those events were incredible back then. It's just not the same anymore. It's not the same anymore in terms of like how the competition is. But I know from a teaching standpoint, like what the coaches are showing these kids, like the underclassmen, it's great work for them. Like I saw what Jason Taylor was doing with some of those younger defensive ends and everything, guys that are not going to be seniors right now. But I just wish the guys, the would-be seniors would be competing a lot more in these things again.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know the irony of it is the would-be seniors don't compete in that, but they'll compete in 7-on-7 year-round.
That is amazing.
What's the difference?
I remember being with Nkosi Perry a little bit, when he was there. I mean, he was going to be coaching.
Oh, yeah.
All these kids were there. It was amazing.
Too bad.
Not that it's not good now. It's great because you have all the former players and everything like that as well, which is awesome.
Andy, are you sure that you can't post picture or video? I've seen a few surface, not a lot, but I've seen a few. Unless they're not supposed to be going up.
I don't know. I think he's talking about right on our podcast.
Oh, Possum Jenkins said, "Is there anyone you think currently in the class that may not stick or could flip to another school? Anyone besides?" Hey, well, Possum Jenkins, you're right on the money actually, so I don't even have to answer that. Raph the Gym Dad, why is the latest on Henry so all over the place? I hear you and others with positive and on our chances. Meanwhile, Will Fogg makes it seem like it's Notre Dame or A&M. Why the Andy Glaze? Well, the thing is, Caden Henderson goes to a Catholic school, so obviously there's some value that's held there with, you know, Notre Dame and the type of program they are and everything. Also, he still plans to take the official visit. He's canceled all his other stuff, so it's just kind of like one of those situations you got to wait out. But yeah, I wouldn't agree with the sense that Miami's not in it. Like anyone portraying that right now, I think that's kind of crazy. That Miami's absolutely in the thick of it right now. Possum Jenkins, is there a player you think Miami should take that they haven't truly recruited yet in the class? I think you could point to some guys like a Zion Vilma out of the Palm Beach County area. I think he's definitely slept on a bit. I know Miami's had some interest in him, but I think he's slept on. I think another guy, a name that I could throw out there, I've brought this up before, Anthony Jennings from Dillard High School. He's committed to Florida right now. He's a receiver. I think he's super slept on. Maybe who else would I say? I would say that's it for now. Yeah, I would say just those guys. Juan Manuel said, Oregon looks like the designer of the uniform was smoking herbs when they made it. Green only looks good on boogers or frogs.
I mean, that's the thing. Mario was playing in those jerseys, all those different jerseys, and he just likes to have his one jersey, maybe two, and he was playing in all those jerseys. And people were saying, Mario's going to definitely want Nike because they put him all the jerseys. But as we see, Mario wants to play in orange. Unless there's another thing that they tell him he has to play in.
So Albert McKinney said the defensive end from Jacksonville, Asher Jodo, he did an interview with Georgia media, and he's a big Georgia fan in Jacksonville. Yeah. So I don't think I got around the chance to mentioning that, like the school is actually in the mix for him. But Miami, Florida, Georgia, Alabama's another, and there's one other program. I forget the other program, but those are going to be like main contenders for Jodo next year. B Rabbit, let me know when you come up to Duval, Geo, so we can go to a Mandarin or Bowls game. I'd love to go to a Mandarin game. Bryson Wright is the truth. He's the absolute truth as a player. Chris Brown, B7H. That's because that turtle will find. Sergio said, Gio, could the 28 class be better than 2027? Those Jacksonville kids, Amir Sears, the wide receiver class, all linked. Miami sounding crazy. Hard to say. I mean, look, I'll put it like this. I said, Brad, this was probably back in January now when I said this. Someone asked me the question, how many 5-stars do I think Miami could sign in this class? Mm-hmm. I set the line at 4. Miami's been at 4 now for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks.
And that was a surprise when we went to 4. We weren't even expecting that one.
Yeah, and the fact that there's very much in play for 2 more right now, and they're going to swing potentially at a guy or 2 in the fall. I mean, if they land a class of even like 5 5-stars or even 6 5-stars, that's something that's never been done here before. So I don't know.
Obviously, we had the number 1 class when Randy Shannon took all those Northwestern kids, and they were possibly all a little overrated. Some of them maybe.
Yeah, well, that class only had it was 2 5-stars that were in that class. It was Marcus Forston and Arthur Brown.
Okay, Arthur Brown from Kansas.
Yeah, well, and originally Miami had 3 5-stars in that class. It was Patrick Johnson, later on known as Patrick Peterson. Mm-hmm. He flipped to LSU late in the cycle. James Coley became quite the bag man between Dwayne Bowe and then the Patrick Johnson saga. But yeah, long story. Raph the Gym Dad, which running back should we be thinking about going forward for this cycle? I know they tried to get Lacey in this week, but he chose LSU. Would there be another name popping up soon? Any realistic shot with Myson Johnson Cook? Yeah, so I do expect them to take a swing at Myson Johnson Cook in the fall. I've mentioned it a few times already. Any other potential names I'd say out there? I know they really liked the kid from Mississippi as well, Tyson Robinson. He was kind of like right after Ty Keys. I know they liked him, but I don't know if they'll go in that direction again. But yeah, it's a safe bet right now to say like one that actually has traction and legs to it, Myson Johnson Cook, because they were super close to landing him actually until Auburn got a little desperate.
Didn't they give him like possibly a lot more money than we wanted to give him?
Yeah, it's really.
Why would that change? They're not going to take the money back. We're not going to give them more money. We got who?
Well, I don't want to. I'll talk about it with you afterwards.
We got Keys already, right? So that was one, and we're loaded. And who else do we have coming back? Pringle and Pringle. We've got how many running backs do we have next year coming back automatically from our team?
Lyle would still have eligibility. Shamar Brown would still have eligibility. Wheatley Humphrey and Mallory.
Okay. So that's quite a running back room already. If we're adding Keys, and then you're going to pay a guy that kind of money, it's hard to believe.
Yeah, no, it's running backs don't always get a premium in
correct
ranks.
So we'll have 6 or 7 backs and they'll all be ready to play.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. Sears Musket. Rich Millennial, thank you for stopping by, man. The 2028 class in the state of Florida is loaded. Yes, it is. Apollo Reyes said, since Conrad Hussey is gone from the team, who's going to be the backup safeties? I don't think you have to look any further than a guy like oh my goodness, what's his name again? JJ Dunnigan. Dylan Day's been here for some time, his experience as well. Omar Thornton could play some safety too, but I expect him to be Miami's nickel. I think Miami will be fine. Albert McKinney said, I want all of Dalen Upshaw's cousins. Yeah. No, they're great football players. Jatori Williams, who's already in the class. The other one, Jaden Upshaw, who's committed to A&M right now. He's a tremendous receiver prospect. So, yeah, Dalen Upshaw's got some good genetics in the family. Cody Kane, good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you, Cody.
Elf said a very long time. Marley Bell, Aiden Johnson's at Carroll City. Okay, so he's no longer in Broward. He's at Carroll City now. A lot of guys transferred to Carroll City. Even Nick Lanier's at Carroll City now.
Wow.
JV said Sean Spence was good here. Yeah, you know what? Actually, JV's right. Right now, Miami's linebacker class, like at least ranking wise, it is better than the group. Like if you took the top two guys from the 2018 thing with Shaq Quarterman and Mike and Zach McLeod, Shaq and Zach were the two higher ranked ones. Shaq was ranked really high. He was like one of the top two linebackers in the country. Really good kid, by the way. I knew him and his uncle and everything. Really, really nice people. But you'd have to go back basically to the 2008 class. Well, even before the 2008 class, you had John Beeson and Leon Williams and all that. Those recruited.
Denzel Perriman played. Didn't he play with Sean Spence?
Yeah, but they weren't the same class though. So okay. JV brought up a great point. Actually, I did skip over that 2008 class because they had Sean Spence in that class. They had Arthur Brown, who was a 5-star. They had Jordan Futch. They had Raymond Cookie Buchanan, if people remember Cookie, number 45 for Miami. And they had C.J. Holton. They had insane amount of linebackers in that one class. But rankings-wise, if you took like the top guys, yeah, basically 18 years since Miami was able to have like a trio like that. Like they were just all blue chips, all top 10 at their position. It's been a long time. Raph, the gym dad, been a bit concerned with Sears. He talks and reposted A&M stuff a lot. Don't really see him hyping up UM news on social media. He wasn't at the Legends camp getting Matthews vibes. We'll see, Raph. It's a long way to go. What did Conrad Hussey do? I keep saying this. I'm not going to talk on it, but yeah, it's not with the team. He's no longer on the roster. Howard Stern, Dennis 201 is a total stud, best player, 7-on-7 circuit, not even close. Beat up on all the Florida and California teams. Very true. He's very good. Deepwater said, who else remembers Raymond? Yeah, there we go. Raymond Cookie Buchanan. Raymond Cookie Buchanan that came in same class as Sean Spence. That boy was, yeah, he was from Palm Bay, Florida. I think that's the same area Chase Smith is from. Deepwater, Sean Smith could end up being better. Cody Kane said, Brett, you may have already addressed this, but I was wondering if/when Caneswear is going to have the new Malachi Tony jerseys.
So we will have Malachi Tony jerseys in probably 2 weeks. I'm saying we'll have orange and green. We'll have some during the season. We're planning on having some stitched Malachi Tony jerseys. So, but as early as I think 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks max, we should have plenty of orange and green. Probably like 1,000 coming in. We will have black. We will have white later on. So it'll be, I'd say, middle July at the latest.
Alf, I'm aim. It's got a little bit of an old school feel, dare I say. Kane's comebacks. The tour said Gio, Dono, Mike. Yep. Alex Dono and Michael Yo, good friends of mine. Albert McKenney said Leon Williams, Rocky McIntosh, Sean Spence all had long NFL careers. Yes, they did. Rocky McIntosh was from the Carolinas, actually.
Yeah, it's a great name. I love that name.
Leon Williams was a New York guy. Leon Williams was actually a 5-star, if I recall. Possum Jenkins, is this currently the best recruiting for Miami in the last 20 years? Yeah. At least in the modern era, like when they started doing all the rankings, like on websites since 2002. Yeah. It's incredible what Miami's doing right now. Mario has brought the program back to I'm at a loss for words what he's done with the program. It's what every Miami fan's been waiting for a long time. Chris Brown said, true, Brett. Kane's comeback tour said, Gio, Dono, and Michael Yo, the best. Thank you. Yeah,
they are all great.
Deepwater 1301, Sean Spence was injured. Yeah, he had the injury in the NFL. Sean Spence is actually, I believe he's a college coach now. I know he was at Central Michigan.
He was a third-round pick, I think, right, for the Steelers?
Yeah, for the Steelers, yeah. Mm-hmm. Vic Ambassador. Hi, Gio. I have a two-part question. Since Ruben Bain's departure, which athlete has the physical traits and elite speed, and what rank nationally? Do you mean like on the current team? I'm not sure. But like, if you mean like on the current team, like who kind of like translates similar to that type of player, I'd say a guy like Armando Blunt. Armando Blunt is very physical for a defensive end, violent with his hands. He's got great hand placement already for a defensive lineman. He's so young too. He's really supposed to be like a sophomore in college right now. He graduated a year early. But if you're talking about like from recruiting side of things, basically the kid that Miami just landed not too long ago, Jaden Bryant, he profiles very similarly to Ruben Bain. Raf, the gym dad, what are the odds we leave Adidas next year? And if we had already answered that. I think unlikely right now. Miami's really happy with Adidas. JB Kane said, Gio, what do you think about taking horsey armors to get the shit? JB, you're such a troll, man. Kane Girl 23 said me. Deepwater.
These are repeats for some reason, Gio.
Yeah, sometimes some repeats come up. We're almost at the end of the questions from what I can see here. Let me see. Miami running the show this year. Thank you for stopping by. Go Canes. Deepwater said Sorsby's only claiming the attic thing because he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, look, wasn't it in the court proceedings that the attorney was telling the judges that, that he's going to be depressed and this and that because he's not going to play and everything? I mean, Brett, let's be honest here. Who's going to be depressed if they got millions of dollars for transferring to that school? Like,
but is that money going to still be his if he can't play?
That's an interesting one.
I don't think it would be. Court rules that you can't. Court rule he could play, obviously, because they're all Texas Tech. But I think that I don't know if he's going to be paid, but if they don't make an example out of him, everybody in the world is going to be able to be on the halftime show. Okay, who do I like? I'm taking this team with the points. I think we can beat them by 30 points. Even if you're betting on yourself, it's like, oh, coach, who's going in? Oh, this guy's going in. We're going to be playing the second team, but we'd still win by 40. Unfortunately, if they let gambling go forever, gambling has been more so than anything else. Gambling has been the one thing since the Shoeless Joe Jackson days, way back in the Black Sox scandal. I mean, Pete Rose. I mean, it's one thing you can't have. We're getting closer and closer to it because you can have your phone in the game and be betting on the phone on a legal website, and so your friends are going to be making the bets because you can't, obviously. And when you're telling your friends, can you please make a bet for me? You do have a little bit of an addiction.
Brett, just wait until one day we have these stories where kids are placing bets on the sidelines before they go into the game.
That could be too. I think I'm going to get a first down. I bet you won't. You're right. It's like
yeah, look, it sets a very bad precedent, though. Like I'm not saying I want the kid's life ruined or anything of the sort.
I don't want it either. We all make mistakes.
It sets a very bad precedent if they allow this, that he actually plays this year. It's basically telling everyone, hey, yeah, you could bet and nothing's going to happen. Maybe a little small slap on the wrist, but you'll still play.
Out the year, he doesn't lose eligibility. He can either come back next year or he can go to the NFL. And then the NFL, if he has a suspension, the NFL still will have the right to suspend him as well. Even if he gets suspended for 2 games, the NFL will probably suspend him for a year. They do not want gambling anywhere near the NFL. Not that it doesn't happen, but they don't want that. So the NFL, who is it that the NFL went ahead and suspended after college suspended him or something like that?
Oh, I forget about that. There was a player that happened that happened to. I forget the name.
So even if he does play, the NFL is probably going to suspend him. But yeah, it's something that you can't take lightly, unfortunately. And it is, I do believe it is an addiction a lot of times. People aren't gambling for fun. They're gambling because they want, they get the dopamine hit. They get the feeling of, it doesn't matter if winning or losing. It's just placing the bet at that time, hitting that button. Like I took the Knicks plus 3.5 last night when they were down a little bit and they ended up losing by 4. I wanted San Antonio just to make it close, but it's the way it goes. It just had to make that bet.
Brett, I got one thing to say about that series. historically, there's been a lot of finals, I would say, within the last 20 or so years that a team goes up 2-0 and then they end up losing. I only got one thing to say. Wemby in 6.
I mean, it's never happened on the a team has never dropped both games on the home floor, I think, and then won the next 4. But the Heat were down. We were down. We drop? I thought the Heat dropped 2 in a row on their home floor against Dallas, but I could be wrong. So
the Heat lost the first 2 to Dallas, and then they came back.
And then Dwayne Wade was hurt in the locker room, and he came out like Superman. But they said it was San Antonio only, but I thought that did happen to the Heat. So
let's see.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think the Knicks will win the series, though.
Howard Stern said, Gio Neiman Lawrence, he gone to Texas. Yeah. At least as of now, unless things get extended out. Yeah. Albert McKinney is 5 part that is doing both at a high level. Miami, Oregon, Texas A&M, and Notre Dame are doing both recruiting and NIL at a high level. Absolutely agree, Albert. Miami is in that tier 1 right now. Raph the Gym Dad planning to possibly make the trip. JV Kane said Nike is American trash. Adidas clears.
All right, Jay. We don't have as many. We the people that like Adidas love Adidas. People love Nike. I remember when I sold cars. Yes, I sold Fords at one time from Mullenix Ford at One Price dealership in Margate, Florida, from '91 and '98. And these, I didn't even realize that there were people that there were GM truck people and Ford truck people. I mean, and cars. It was not only NASCAR, just a battle of what was better. I mean, there was some rivalry. The cars aren't even human, but the people were up in arms about each one.
Howard Stern said a well-known recruiting guru, Larry Bluestein, a good friend of mine as well, told a close friend of mine, Jackson Cantwell is the closest thing he's seen to Orlando Pace. BS. Well, I'll tell you this: Larry Bluestein has seen everything. He saw freaking Ted Hendricks play when he was in high school. So Larry Bluestein's seen a lot of football in his life. So I respect Larry's opinion.
Orlando Pace is one of the greatest offensive linemen in history of both. So that would be awesome if he is that good.
6 Moss, Nike is trash. A lot of Nike hate. Pretty nice. Rafa the Gym Dad planning to possibly make the trip to Notre Dame game this year. What's the best way to purchase tickets within a Canes section? I haven't purchased tickets in a long time, but
it depends what you're looking for. I think you can get tickets in a Canes section. It's right now everybody's saying the flight, the hotels are so expensive. But I do believe they will be available closer to the game. You may have to find them. Obviously, they're all sold out. So the best way is to just find out where people are sitting for the Canes section. You can find that out from the school, or you can find it out for maybe Canes Command Center will have that on his all new, brand new website. Just saying that. That would be great. Just any way that you can find out. And you find that section, you look it up in StubHub or wherever, and that's the best place, I would say, to finding it. Or you find a couple of Canes fans that can't go, and they sell their tickets at the last minute.
Deepwater, Jordan Brand over everyone else. A lot of varying opinions, like Brett said, even when it comes to the cars, too. Albert McKinney said, we need to break out the early 2000 uniforms, 1999 to 2005. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, Albert.
Kane Girl 23. What happens with the private schools when you were talking about the new rules, like St. Thomas Aquinas, who produces so many players? It falls into line for them too. Look, if they were doing that with anyone, if they were doing virtual school or anything of the sort, or let's say they had a player from Dade who's zoned in Dade County, but then wanted to play over at St. Thomas Aquinas. Yeah, there's the whole issue with that. The only thing, though, there's one thing. Players are getting grandfathered in, though. It's not going to be a retroactive thing. So, like, for example, if someone transferred to, let's say your example, like a St. Thomas Aquinas, before their spring practice started, they get grandfathered in. But anyone moving forward, I believe it goes into effect July 1st. Anyone moving forward, it's axed. Like you can't do it. Like if
you're in your own county, you have to stay in your own county.
You have to stay
Heritage, St. Thomas, those schools do not have an advantage. They cannot draw kids from Dade County.
Yeah, no, they can't. I mean, unless they're Well, and to figure out a package for the kids to move to Broward County, but outside
Okay.
of that, no.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happened with some players that they found homes for these kids. And I mean,
Yeah.
parents, you look at the what was The Blind Side? What was the movie with the big offensive lineman? What was that movie called? The Blind Side? I think it was The Blind Side.
Oh, Michael Oher.
Yeah. So you know what? He went and lived with the family.
Yeah. Howard Stern said, these Adidas jerseys need a modern touch. They're just boring. Oh, it reminds me of Larry Coker's face. Deepwater, Nike.
They designed it with Larry Coker in mind. How do you know Howard Stern? He really is an insider. They took his picture.
Deepwater said Nike didn't treat us the same because we suck. I do think he's got a point there.
Yeah, but we have not been good for the last 10 years either. I mean, realize we won until this year, we'd won one bowl game. I mean, when 2017 bowl game, when Brad Kaya led us. Before that, it was 2006. So it's not like we've been with Nike, we've been with Adidas from 14 to 26, and we won one bowl game until last year. We won 3. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So we weren't really good either.
JV Kane said Jordan Brand is also trash. Y'all just fall for the propaganda. JV Kane's got some strong opinions.
I agree on that.
Alf, I mean, Puma, Tyler LTO Bell. To be honest, the last few uniforms we had with Nike were ugly, although Adidas's first uniforms were ugly with the feathers. Yes, I mentioned that earlier. It was terrible with feathers. Nike gave us a bunch of recycled stuff.
When I was speaking of Stacy Coley and others, when I was doing the signings, they would tell us they didn't have gloves that didn't have holes in it. They didn't have shoes. They didn't have anything. They were getting, unfortunately, nothing from Nike in those days. Then Adidas swoops in and they get a ton of stuff. And the camps, it's like you said, when they brought Miami, Miami was a feature school. Miami wasn't playing good. All the SEC schools were ahead of Miami. The Big Ten schools were ahead of Miami. So Miami was just like, hey, we'll give them what we give them.
So, Brett, you got a question here from Alf. He said, how long has Caneswear been around?
Well, it's our 16th anniversary. We started in 2010 in a tiny warehouse from 2010 to 2014. And from 2014 to 2026, 12 years we've been in the shops of Arrowhead. We have moved 3 times or moved twice, and this is our 3rd different store in that plaza. So we have been around since 2010, 16 years, which is why we're having our 16th anniversary sale. And if you go on the app, Gio, the next few days, see on the app only, CW1625 will get you $16 off any $25 more purchase.
By the way, you got a super chat in here. Nay Mally 4155. Thank you for the super chat.
Wow, that's our first.
He said, hey, Brett, I'd rather push a Chevy than to drive a Ford.
That's what they, yes, rather push a Chevy, found on road dead. I would hear it all the time. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the super chat.
About that line. Super chat. Look at that. We don't have to be like those other guys who are saying, please send us money. Please send us money. Awesome. Hey, we're not going to turn it down. We're getting a bigger staff, so we definitely want to take care of the team.
Oh, Albert's got a great one here, actually. He said, who remembers when Adidas made us wear the jerseys against Alabama that were made out of sea garbage or something, that when Alabama destroyed us? I do remember that. Those were it was the parlay jerseys.
Every jersey Adidas makes now is the same thing now. They're doing it on all their jerseys. They just don't call it anymore. So now, so they are doing that. Recycled jerseys, they are doing that. Was that the same Alabama game that we did the turnover chain? We were down by 70?
Yeah,
like, but those were, yes. That was the worst jersey. That was the white one, I think.
I agree. I
heard over 1,000.
I agree with Raph here. He said should switch from Adidas to Aloe. That way I could shop there as much as my wife does. I'm right there with you, man.
That is funny.
Juan Manuel Payless shoe store wants to sponsor FSU athletics.
I heard they made a deal that unfortunately Payless went out of business before they could do it.
Deepwater said big facts. Albert, those uniforms were against LSU in 2018. Those were ugly too. Yes, you're right. Yep. That was the Jeff Thomas game. Lorraine, thank you for stopping by. She said, great on-time show tonight. LOL, when do the new Malachi Tony jerseys arrive? Well, Brett already answered that, but
we should have Malachi Tony jerseys. The first batch of them, we had them, a month and a half ago. or about a month ago. We have another, I think, 900 or 1,000 coming. I think probably mid-June, July, maybe earlier. It could be here in 2 weeks, but all I know.
Howard Stern said, when it's all said and done, Nick Saban is going to be hated more than Jerry Sandusky. Albert McCartney, Wright and Sears are must get. Ohio State's already talking about those guys. Yes. How important is it for Nickel to be ready and also perform well next season for future QB recruiting? We got Abrams already, but feels like a bad look if we have to hit the portal again next year. I've said this before. I do think there's a good chance that this is the first year that Miami does not take a quarterback from the transfer portal.
I have heard that too from some people that have said, other insiders that have said that they definitely think they're ready to go ahead now with their own quarterback. I mean, obviously, their own quarterback is Darian Mensah also, who will be coming back, who could come back next year. He's not like Cam Ward. He'll have he'll have another year of eligibility. Hopefully, win the national championship and he moves on, and then we can have the battle of the other guys. So it's, but I think eventually we have to go with our own quarterback.
Juan Manuel said, "Isn't Jordan a dinosaur he was playing before Nike Air shoes? I think they play barefoot like the Flintstones." JV Kane said, "Ward did not want to throw to freshman." Hey, I do think you got a point, but hindsight's 2020, man. Howard Stern, John Summerall, I just can't stand this guy. I can't wait till this
He's got to go every show with the John Summerall. There must be something way back there. We're gonna have to go ahead and get Howard Stern on the hypnosis couch and find out what happened between him and John Summerall in a former life.
Kyle's CGA said, "Can we do a military appreciation without the camo uniform? We can honor military without wearing a camo uniform."
Mario actually picked that uniform himself. We had the choice to go in black, or he wanted that. So it's, from what I understand, he picked that jersey.
Wow.
So Mario, obviously.
Well, you know what? I shouldn't even say wow. I'm not surprised because Mario loved the camo polo afterwards. He'd have that on like the whole playoff run.
Mario loves the exactly. He's very much into anything military-wise, which is great. He supports the armed forces.
Thank you for stopping by, Kubice. He said, "Go Canes, appreciate you all. We'll catch on the rewatch, watching movies with the kids." Thank you, Kubice, as always.
Family first, absolutely.
Raf the Gym Dad said, "We're wearing the camo jerseys again this year. Oh no, hope they can at least change the pants to black or something."
That I hope they do. I have not heard about that yet. Yes, that would have been so much better if the pants were different. A lot better.
Howard Stern said, "Can we get Mario stylist? He makes the men's warehouse look like Armani straight from Italy." Alf said that Michael Irvin's story about how he got 47 was hilarious. Yes, it was. Howard Stern, is Randy Shannon still at Florida State? If he is, poor man, what did he do to still be there? I don't think he still is at Florida State. Is he?
Has Randy Shannon been at every school in Florida?
Yeah, I know he was at UF at one point
he was
too.
At UF at Florida State. He was at USF, wasn't he?
So
USF. And was he? So I think he just has to go to.
Yeah, no, he's no longer at Florida State. From what
Where is he? Is he at FIU? FAU?
No, I don't even think he's coaching right
now.
I don't think he's coaching right now.
I remember saying to my dad when they named Randy Shannon, I said, "Dad," he says, he was, he just like go outside the program. He knew Randy Shannon, great guy, but said that, you know what? Just got to, and I was like, "Dad, this is going to be the winner. He is going to be a great coach. What he's come from in life and what he's achieved." I was so sure Randy Shannon was going to be a great coach. What the hell do I know?
Raf the Gym Dad, are those jackets that all the players and families wearing doing OVs for sale anywhere? Have you seen that, Brett? The jackets that they're doing during the official visits?
I have not seen them actually. So
I got to send you the picture.
Right. Yeah, we're getting stuff in June and like I said, July. We will have two really cool new jackets, starter type jackets. One a little bit lighter than the one we've carried, and it's going to be really awesome this year in all colors.
Howard Stern said, "It's time we create a Miami-Dade Hall of Fame and Broward County Hall of Fame for sports." Absolutely agreed.
That is a great idea. Maybe we call it the Caneswear Hall of Fame. Caneswear TV Hall of Fame. We'll set that up, Gio.
Howard Stern, Frank Gore, Willie Williams, Bobby Washington, best high school football players that ever seen in Dade County. Darnell Jenkins is there also. Darnell Jenkins was a pretty good player for Miami too. I think he just had some of the misfortune of not having great QB play.
Moss came out of Broward, right?
Who?
Moss, the running back, Tyrone. He came out of Broward.
Tyrone Moss, yeah, he came out of Broward. Yeah. C. Crowder said, "What happened with Conrad Hussey? Can't really talk about it."
At least nobody's asking about the defensive lineman.
If you put 67 on Ahmad Moten and 96 on Justin Scott and Teray were 57, you think it's 1989 all over again. Very true.
Wow.
Yeah. Raph the Gym Dad said, "How concerning do you think it is for defensive lineman recruits that want to come here for Jason Taylor, but yet feel he may leave at any time? Do you think Jason Taylor could go elsewhere but chooses to stay?" He's had offers. Even the NFL has expressed some interest too. But look, one of his sons is still here. Actually, I think this is the last year for the program, and he's also got young children too with his wife
He
now.
loves
And everything.
He
Yeah,
loves South Florida, that is for sure. And I think the missus loves South Florida, but you never know. Question is where he wants to go. He's a Hall of Fame football player, and he played college. We know with the strong University of Akron. So he's now enjoying the college experience with Miami.
Howard Stern said, "Brett, we need the Miami Dolphins shirt tank for Jeremiah Smith."
That would be a great shirt. I mean, we've had that in the past. The Dolphins make me drink. But yeah, we tank for Smith.
Yeah, he's also got a question about the Florida Gator fans as well. Possum Jenkins said, "Howard Stern is Miami flow seeker. Vern." Oh my God, don't say that. He's gonna get mad. Posted then deleted the post. Okay. Howard Stern said, "Mario and staff are breaking doors. They're getting into Tampa and they're making noise in Jacksonville. Then we really take over the state." You're absolutely right. JB Kane said, "Love you, bro. Put some respect on Sean Spence and Denzel Perryman as good linebacker." They absolutely were. Yeah. They just weren't in the same class. But JB
still playing. I think he signed another contract.
Yeah, JB, I got something for you though. You remember Eddie Johnson, 44?
Mm-hmm.
He was going to be phenomenal. Like even that first year that he had, and then got into trouble and everything. He was a really good linebacker. Canada Kane said, "Hi Gio, if you need a score through return to kick returner, who will you out there? Who would you put out there? Devin, Santana, Malachi, or somebody else?" Devin Hester. He's the greatest all time, but damn, it's really hard to turn down a guy like Malachi Tony or Santana Moss returning.
Santana, I mean, their stats in college.
Well, you know what?
Santana was much better than Hester.
Give me Devin Hester on kick returns, and then just a coin toss between a guy like Santana Moss, Malachi Tony, or a Kevin Williams on punt returns. Kevin
Williams is underrated. How about what's your Tremont? What was his name? He was excellent on
Tremaine Mack. Yeah,
Tremaine Mack. I think he blocked that kick. I think in the 2006 game on the blue turf and helped us win that game. I think that other bowl game. But he was a guy that nobody talks about, but he was quite the special teamer.
Yeah. Well, Manuel, so interesting. Gio and Brett, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm glad I didn't miss the show. I was trying first time, but damn, I screwed that up. Let me guess.
I was going to say, we missed Hassan. If you didn't make it, that's all right. Better late than never, Hassan. Thank you. You know, if we don't see the regular family, it gets a little scary. We get all the new people, which we love. We get all the regulars. So we're happy when everybody checks in.
Juan Manuel said, "When is Abella Danger going to commit?"
She's committing soon. We've got her coming soon. Oops, sorry. That was a Freudian slip. Coming on soon.
Oh man.
Sorry.
Deepwater said, "One, I wasn't the only one who saw him." Okay. There ain't a better football player than Tony right now. I agree with you, Alf.
I hope Deepwater's right. I mean, Henderson and King would be awesome. That linebacking class. Oh. LBU back.
One Manuel, you're a funny guy. The comments he puts. Oh man, there's just so much banter going on.
It's after 11. It's no longer. It's adult time now. It's the adult hour now. After dark.
Deepwater, you got a great point, my man. You said what could have been with Mark Pope. Yeah, let me tell you, he would create separation. It's just it always seemed like a concentration issue, just with the drops and catching the ball and everything. He would get separation though. He would always
the Devonta Smith and the like you said, it's even a Jalen Waddle at Alabama. That's the kind of player. So what was he, number 12? What number was Pope again?
Mark Pope. He wore number 6 at Miami.
Okay, so.
Let's see. Howard Stern said Malachi Tony was basically playing with a couple of 7-rounders. Santana Moss had an NFL Hall of Famer next to him. Massive difference. Santana. True. Very true.
First couple of years. I mean, really, the Canes we got blown out by Syracuse by like 80-0, didn't we? In 98 or 90? Was it 98?
It was 98. Yeah.
98. That was Santana. Last 2000. Butch built that team up so quickly, but we weren't really star-studded. I mean, Edgerrin James obviously was what was Edgerrin James running back? 80, 97. Well, whatever. I don't think we had that much talent.
Yeah, Edgerrin James was 97, 98, 99.
Yeah, so I think then 97. So yeah, so we did have a better team, but we don't know. We'll see how good these guys do in the NFL. Hopefully, they can repeat and duplicate the outcomes of the guys before.
Albert McKinney, I will still remember Patrick Peterson, Johnson Flip, and the Dwayne Bowe. Yes, yep. Deepwater said, wasn't LaShawn McCoy in that class briefly too? LaShawn McCoy was in the class with because he went to the same prep school as Greg Cooper. They were originally 2006, and then it became 2007. Yeah, it was 2007 when they were.
People, the Coop chants were awesome. He had the game against North Carolina. I think we were playing Butch Davis, right? And he just was that it. I mean, in the Hard Rock, it was amazing.
Howard Stern said, "Gio, the new signing day changed everything. These kids don't want to compete no more. Once they finish their junior year, the kids left." Yeah, I'm with you, Howard Stern. It's completely changed. They'll love to do the 7-on-7 stuff, but then when it comes to camps at the schools and everything, they don't want to do it. They opt out. It used to be so different before.
Mm-hmm.
One Manuel Ham, alien from Planet. What is it with FSU and his players? Conrad Hussey now is they're a bigger clown than Mike Norvell. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question, One Manuel. I don't know if there is a bigger clown than Mike Norvell right now. What happened to Conrad? Hassan said, Gio, what about the class with Willie Williams and James Bryant? Wasn't Calais Campbell 5-star? Wasn't he in the same class as some other players? Yeah, so Calais Campbell was like a high 4-star. They didn't give him a 5-star from what I recall. But yeah, Willie Williams and James Bryant, they were 5-stars. I remember James Bryant. He wore 45, and Willie Williams wore 17.
We've had a lot of 45s.
Yeah. Juan Manuel, 2008 was a terrible number 1 class, second and only to Jimbo Fisher's Texas A&M epic disaster, 8 5-star class. Yeah, Juan Manuel, I think the biggest thing that happened with that 2008 class, there was a lot of talent in that class. I think there's just, there's development that didn't happen with quite a few of those guys. I mean, Randy Shannon basically ran off Arthur Brown, and he became an All-American at Kansas State when he went back home. And, I mean, but there were some good turnouts too. I mean, Tommy Streeter did well, Sean Spence, whatever.
Leonard Hankerson was fantastic. Was it Leonard Hankerson?
Leonard Hankerson was the class before them. He was 2007. Okay. So, yeah, I also think that class ranking was a little misleading back then because Miami did backfill a lot of that class with like filler guys, like guys that were just going to be purely depth or maybe not even play much. Deepwater said mid-July for the Stitched, I will be getting multiple. Jacoby Graggs, Sean Spence, a linebacker coach for the LA Chargers. Yes, I do know he was coaching college, but I forgot about that he's in.
And Denzel Perryman is still on the Chargers, right? Yeah. So Sean Spence is coaching Denzel. That is.
You see, I was right. Possum Jenkins said it. Sean Spence is the linebacker coach for the Chargers now. He was the linebacker coach for Western Michigan last year, though. Yes, I do remember that. Raph the Gym Dad, on an alternative universe where Butch Davis never leaves, do you think we are sitting here with 10 championships? Does Shapiro ever happen? The 2010s post Davis could have been great. Look, the Shapiro thing, I think probably still does happen. I don't think there was anything between coaches that would have prevented that. But
But Butch had a lot of power, so maybe.
yeah, I actually got the chance to have a really long conversation with Butch Davis at the spring game, not this year, but the year prior. I mean, just phenomenal football mind. He's a huge fan of Mario too. Um, it's tough to say like how many that he could have won, but he was literally right on the cusp of it. I mean, they should have played for a national championship the last year he was the head coach here. To be honest,
Absolutely. That to me team probably was. I was with Dan Morgan's dad at the store talking about who's better, the 2000 or 2001, and I mean, it's hard to say. The 2000 team lost Dan Morgan. I mean, they lost Santana Moss. They lost Reggie Wayne. I think they lost somebody else huge also. So 4 key players. So that 2001 team was 2000 team was awesome. So you're right. That team back to back, and then the third year we were great. Obviously, with that team, that you know, the guy still. I think he hasn't called the flag yet. What's his name? Joey Porter or something.
Oh, Terry Porter.
Terry Porter, him too.
Hadid Johnson. I know it's hot as hell now, but are we getting hoodies in the next month?
Hoodies, actually, hoodies are always good. I think we may have some hoodies coming in the next month. Yes.
Texas A&M will lose some players. They're not going to have that good of a season. Their schedule's not weak like last year. Agreed.
I just got to say this. I think in July, or June, or probably we are getting some backpacks. So just stay tuned for that. I have not even thought about it, but there's going to be some unbelievable ones coming.
Yeah.
And everyone on there is going to say, why didn't you tell us? Because when they come in, it is going to be exciting.
Deepwater, that means Sean Spence is coaching Dunzell Perriman with the Chargers. Yes, that's really cool. Why don't you bring Michael Yo to the show? Well, I've actually collaborated with Mike a lot with his channel, especially recently. But yeah, definitely will be inviting him on soon to co-host as well.
I think that'd be kind of fun to have different people on there. Michael Yo, it's Dono. You had a great show with Dono on there. Bring in plenty of guests. We have a lot of fun things going to be happening. Multiple shows, a lot of things. We're going to keep you guys busy that all day long. Hopefully, you'll be able to watch Kane's intensive programming.
Deepwater said Ford first on race day.
We got a Ford. So we got 1 Chevy, 1 Ford.
Raph the Gym Dad, how come Adidas doesn't release the special jerseys, black, camel, etc., as option to buy as player jerseys? I want that blackout so bad, and all they have is a number 24 with no name.
Well, that 24 one was made. That was made right at the beginning of NIL. So yeah, the black jerseys. They won't do with that military jersey, but we'll have black this year. We had black last year with Cam Ward, and we'll have black Malachi this year. So. So we'll have those. I think we're getting plenty of. Actually, there's gonna be another black jersey that everyone's gonna freak out when they see it. It's a former player that is just brand new. That it's gonna be spectacular, phenomenal. So and also the jersey this year is just gonna be outstanding. I mean, and we have a lot coming in, so we probably won't sell out for a few days. So don't worry.
Deepwater, I see what you're saying, Gio. The team had practice jerseys that mimicked the 01 style this past season. Now we know why. Yeah, stay tuned. Albert McKinney, fans hate Larry Coker. Larry was a good man, just not a head coach. Yes, he was a very nice man.
He was a very good man. Totally great. But listen, he won a national championship. That's more than Butch Davis did. I know there were Butch players, but who gets the credit when you win? It's the coach that was there. And Larry Coker is in. For having a couple of good years, he's in the Canes Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Raymond Rodriguez, Jordan Brand would only be good for the shoes with Canes themes. I agree. How about Lululemon?
Lululemon's in a lot of trouble. I can't believe that people are like not going there anymore. I've never been into a Lululemon, so I don't know.
If you look back at Coker tenure as the coaches, Coker had a lot of top prospects. They did not pan out. Yeah, I'll share with you this though, Albert. There's a pretty prominent alumnus that played under the Coker staff, but was recruited by Butch and everything. He flat out said that like Larry Coker, their recruiting plan was they would look at the rivals top 100 or so and just kind of go down the list and like, should we recruit that guy? Maybe this guy, that guy? He doesn't believe there was any real evaluation going on.
You get lucky like that.
Yeah, you could. Colorado Kane, thank you for stopping by. He said Colorado Kane checking in. Been a minute.
Colorado Kane.
Let's see. Albert McKinney, come think about it. That was against LSU. Yeah. Duck is here, everybody. Thank you for stopping by.
A lot of late night drop-ins.
This is a good question, actually. Nate Malley said, Brett, did you ever stock up on beanies? Notre Dame game is going to be freezing.
That is an excellent point. And yes, last year, obviously, we were caught by surprise on the beanies. We did have plenty at the end because we found a supplier, but I went out of the cold games. But yeah, we are definitely prepared for beanies this year. I mean, frankly, I hope we sell out. We need to sell 10,000. But yes, Notre Dame is going to be cold. There's some other cold games at the end of the season, isn't there? Or we're playing them all 3 at home. Last 3 games are at home, right?
I got to look at the schedule again. I don't have it in front of me.
If you're on the Caneswear app, it's the first thing that pops up. So
true. I do have the app though. I just don't have it open in front of me.
I know. Just teasing you. So we got. We're home Duke, Virginia Tech, but we have at North Carolina on the 31st, and we're at Notre Dame on the 7th. So both those games could be cool.
Yeah.
And if we're winning, I think people will be going to the North Carolina when we're winning. So yes, we have a lot of beanies. We have a lot of jackets. We are definitely preparing for a championship.
Deepwater said, guys were really flying around out there. Randy Shannon after every game we lost. Actually, funny thing about that, he would even say that after practice, to the point there was this really famous message board back when message boards were like the big thing. It was called Miami-Hurricanes.com. And the owner of the board he went by the handle Shadow. If you're old school Miami Hurricane fan and you're on the forums and all that stuff way back, we're talking early 2000s, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So someone made a GIF back then of a player in a Miami Hurricanes practice jersey flying around on and Randy Shannon in the front with the quote, guys were really flying around out there.
Was Randy Shannon the one that said, it wasn't Golden, I think it was Shannon that said, when we lost to Duke, he says, well, that walk was just too long, walking from like the locker room to the field. Wasn't that Randy Shannon?
I believe it was Randy.
Talked about that walk. The whole team tired out.
E. Woody said, what's up, guys? What were you guys' reactions to Kawan Lacey's long run in the playoffs against us? I was honestly nervous because we never really allowed long runs like that. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of shocking. Kawan Lacey's a special talent in his own right, so it's bound to happen that a guy's going to break one out. Raph the Gym Dad, which current player are we betting on having the hot girlfriend this year so we can see her live again during the national championship game? My bet is Cooper Barkate. Some Instagram model will see the potential.
That is a great point. Speaking of that, we have
last year was everyone was talking about Keelan Marion's girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Deepwater, give me Roscoe Parrish on punt returns. He was a really good return man.
That's right. Number one, Roscoe Parrish had a great career at Buffalo too.
Let's see. E. Woody said, Gio, what are your honest thoughts on Damari Brown? I feel like he isn't being talked about enough, and I also feel like he is our best corner and can go first or second round if he stays healthy. I'm on the same wavelength with you, Woody, that he's very talented. I do think he's an NFL player. It's just unfortunate the injuries he's had. I just hope that he can get healthy. That's the biggest thing for him because the talent's there. Canada Kane said, I miss Greg Cooper. Yeah, he was very fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Raymundo Rodriguez, Brett, do you carry rubber/silicone wristbands, Kane themed, or Adidas wide receiver gloves like the old Nike Pro Combat ones?
So rubber silicone wristbands. Those are the wristbands that are the thin ones, the little thicker ones. We do have the Caneswear ones, which say I bleed orange and green. And we have that in all colors. And then we have the thicker the thicker silicone ones, the wider ones. We have that in the 2-pack, the orange and green. So yes, that answer is yes. We may not have the Caneswear ones on the website. We need to put those on. The gloves, we sold so many of those gloves. They were awesome. The company that made them, though, for Adidas, decided they don't want to sell them retail for whatever reason. We sold thousands of those gloves, so we would love to get them. I would love to just make green and orange gloves, one green, one orange or something. But no, that company for whatever reason did not want to sell retail anymore.
Let's see. Whitty said, Gio, have you watched film on Dedrick Kimbrough, 4-star receiver from Alabama? Miami recently made his top 10. You're talking about the class of 2028 kid? I think I know who you're talking about. And Thompson High School does produce a lot of talent in the state of Alabama. Albert McKinney, I was like 8 years old. Wasn't that Donovan McNabb killing us? Yeah.
Yes, it was. They're still scoring.
Howard Stern. And funny enough, the very next week was the game with UCLA.
Correct. That was again $299 for Edgerrin, and that we knocked UCLA out of the championship.
Howard Stern, Jason Taylor, the true Miami lifer, not like Dwayne Wade, and I believe he's having a newborn baby soon. Another one. Wow.
God bless.
Neymar, we already answered that. Howard Stern said, Possum Jenkins, don't you ever dish your what? Oh my god. That was the comment they were talking about earlier about Flo. Albert McKinney, Brandon Harris, he was the best player, I think. He was like the second round pick. Yeah, Brandon Harris was really good from that 2008 class. Son of Ice Harris Sr. Actually, back in the day, people used to say he looked like the rapper T.I. I remember that. Sergio, Gio, do you think this Sorsby decision will push that Protect College Sports bill faster now? Congress will say the NCAA needs help. How will this bill impact Miami and TV rights?
That's a great point.
It's tough to say. I want to see how things continue to roll out here. Obviously, the decision came down from the 4 judges, and they were all Texas Tech grads. You know what's even funnier, Brett? One of those Texas Tech grads, like the judges, there's literally a photo of him with his wife together taking a picture with the mascot of Texas Tech. And I believe it's like a football game. Yeah, it's crazy. Someone found it on the internet. I'm just like, wow, it's the more you know.
I thought you were going to say there's one of the women were there with her, with her arm around Sorsby and saying, hey, he's our guy before it happened.
So, let's just got to see how things go. I just think it would be terrible, though, if not that I want the kid's life ruined, but it would be terrible if he's allowed to play.
2 games is just going to set a precedent that's not good for any sport. I mean, and we saw that nobody's happy about it.
Juan Manuel said, did Butch Davis coach in North Carolina? I don't quite remember. He did. And
he did. He was good there, too.
He was landing some big-time recruits there, actually.
Yeah, he was very good there and everything. Then it just fell apart on him.
Canada Kane, if you need a quick catch, who will you throw it with, Hearns, Hankerson, or Rambo? Leonard Hankerson. Leonard Hankerson does not get enough respect in the all-time.
He doesn't, but Rambo, that catch on that when we did that video for the countdown, just unbelievable, Rambo. And Hearns was quite the player, too. I mean, there's so many receivers that people don't even talk about. Henderson was, to me, though, I thought he would be great in the NFL. I think he was drafted by Washington or played for Washington. And I don't know whatever happened. He had the size and everything.
Raimundo Rodriguez, new merchandise release.
That is a great thing. You know what? We're going to do that. We're going to do a lot of things like that, do shorts and other things like that. But yes, having a full show would be awesome. In the store, just going ahead, and that would be great.
Let's see. Albert McKinney, Florida State versus Oklahoma. Miami killed Oklahoma. I was 10 years old. Yeah. MFC Canes, thoughts on special teams kicking game? What's the report on how the kicker is looking? Very small sample size on that. Jake Weinberg hit his field goal in the spring game, but still an ongoing competition between him and Jake Long, who transferred in as well.
Any of the truth to the rumor? We're just going to play 4 downs? Okay, no special teams? I don't know.
Dante said, we have new unis.
We will find out.
Stay tuned. Deep Water. Gio, Chris Chang from the Pick Six podcast would be a great guest. Check him out. He's all about the I'm going to mark that down.
All right. The Pick Six podcast. That way, yeah, I did see that. It's a cool name. It always reminds me when I was Pick Six was invented when I used to go to High Line and the horses when I was younger. Just another way to lose money.
Juan Manuel said Oklahoma didn't want to play the 2000 team. Jeremy Shockey went back home. He heard OU players say it. How cool to beat OU for a natty in 2000 and Nebraska 0 natty, just like the 80s. Absolutely true. Should have happened historically. Just Howard Stern, Greg Olson wore 45 his redshirt year. I did not know that.
I didn't know that. I mentioned 45. Obviously, the best player to wear number 45 for the University of Miami was Gio, one of my good friends. You know who it is?
What?
The best player in Canes history to wear 45?
To wear 45. Oh, Darren Smith.
Absolutely.
Two-time All-American. Came out of Miami Norland, was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. I think he
won 2 rings here and then 2 rings in Dallas. He won like 4 rings in 5 years.
Yeah, he was drafted by Dallas, and then I think he wrapped up his career with the Saints, if I recall. Yeah. Let's see. Juan Manuel. Miami was robbed of a dynasty 2002. Yeah. Deepwater, Gio 37, and I do remember that. Miami Hurricanes is lit. Duck is duck. Better baked or grilled. November 7th is about 53 degrees. It's not that cold. It's cold for South Floridians, Juan.
You never know. It could be a lot colder. But I'm saying let's everybody buy a beanie and a jacket, just in case.
Yeah. Howard Stern said, it's sad Butch Davis doesn't come around the program nowadays. Very sad. I feel like the program treats Mark Richt better and he achieved. Well, Butch was at the spring game last year, actually. He was kicking it up with the rest of the guys and everything. He was there.
But Mark Richt did a lot for the program. I mean, he got the practice facility. He started the Paradise Camp. That was all him. He went ahead and started the thing with the alumni, helping out former alumni. That so he did quite a bit for the program behind the scenes as well. He didn't obviously he got us to number 2 in the country, 10 wins in a row, 15 wins in a row, didn't he? We won 15 in a row. We won 4, his first 4, lost his next 4. They all wanted him fired. Then he won 4. Then he won the bowl game, and then he won 10 in a row. And then Pittsburgh happened.
Albert McKinney said Lance Leggett, Ryan Moore, Willie Williams, Kyle Wright, Charlie Jones. There's a lot of guys. Yeah, I think unfortunately what happened with some of those guys is just the development factor was not there, like with just how everything was structured at that time. It's really unfortunate because I think some guys' careers were blown away. Juan Manuel, Randy Shannon lacked personality. Larry Coker lacked feisty temperament. Al Golden married to Dorito for better or worse. Yeah. Canada Kane. Does Miami recruits here in Pacific Northwest Canada? There are a lot of great kids here too. Well, as a matter of fact, as you say that, they just had Akeem Mesidor. So yeah, they do have interest in that area. I don't know how often they are out there though. Howard Stern, Larry Coker was a great man, respectful, genuine man, but he should be impeached, revoked from the Hall of Fame. Oof.
Is he also in the College Football Hall of Fame? I don't know. He's but yeah, that was a tough one. I was at that Hall of Fame banquet.
Larry Coker was not head coach. He was a great offensive coordinator. That coached that big time programs. You got to play Paul and Don and Nasty. Howard Stern. Well, Howard, I'll tell you one thing. If Miami ends up going to the Big Ten, Donna Shalala will play a really big part in that, actually. Howard Stern, I would say this: if Miami never highlighted, we would have won at least 2 to 3 more championships. Florida would have never won those championships. They won, period. I think he's got a point. One man
as a coach. If they would have gone for the Jimmy Johnson type, pulled them out of nowhere.
Yeah. One Manuel said here, Joy Taylor and Abella Taylor for head closers for Miami recruiting department located in South Beach. Think of the vision.
I thought about Joy Taylor the other day as a co-host on one of our shows.
Albert McKinney, how old are you? Hakeem Nicks, Bruce Carter, North Carolina had a bunch of top draft picks. Butch time on the sidelines of North Carolina. Yeah, they also had the kid, the D tackle Marvin. I think it wasn't Marvin Wilson. It's something Wilson. They had a D tackle there that they landed. He was tremendously talented. I remember that. Howard Stern said Shadow and Mike Bacchus and Matt Shodell, true OGs of Hurricane message boards. Yes, Shadow's board was incredible. I do remember Mike Bacchus as well. I don't remember Shodell from back then. I'd more of the like when Shodell and Gary Furman had their message board. I remember that when I was like late middle school, early high school. I remember that. That was like one of the few still around at that time. And the last comment of the night, Juan Manuel said, hit the like and subscribe button. So with all that said, if you're here at the end as well, it's $100 gift card giveaway happening this Thursday. The deadline is to get signed. Wait, hold up. Carolina Canes said Marvin Austin. Yes, that's the name. The kid who was at North Carolina's tremendous D tackle. Sergio Kane, are you guys going to do a schedule breakdown and pick which games Miami will win? That Virginia Tech game is already making me nervous. Yes, we will have that once we get closer to camp and everything. Mm-hmm. So back on topic, though. So the $100 gift card giveaway. So info on that. If you are subscribed already to the channel on YouTube, you are automatically entered in. If you respond on Twitter, Instagram, I know hundreds of people have been responding in different areas. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're on there, you're already entered in to the contest. Deadline is Thursday at noon Eastern. Winner will be announced this Thursday when me and Brett are back on live together. It'll be at 9:30. The winner will be announced. And last thing, I'll say it again. And the following week, next week, I'm going to be putting down a $50 gift card.
Wow.
For our viewers, for someone to win.
Look at that, Gio. The man. Gio Kane 75. Will we run a kickoff or punt back this year? Well, with the way Gio's hopping up on Malachi being the best returner, I hope he has at least 3.
There was so many that was taken away from him last year, honestly.
I think Malachi, I think it's, I definitely, it takes a lot, but I hope we need to start running the back like the old days. We would always get to the end zone, and we don't want other teams running the back on us, and we can't get past the 30-yard line on a kickoff. So that is key. Absolutely. Great show, Gio. Thank you so much. We had so many. That was a lot of. We went to the question and comments early, and we've been reading 11:30. Fantastic. Another great show. Over 1,000 watchers. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Remember, go on the app, Caneswear app. Download that. If you download the app, you can get $16 off the $25 purchase. So $16 off, $25 or more. Chance to win $100, like Gio said. Just subscribe to the channel. And lots of great stuff coming on. Look for our shorts and look for everything. And remember, if you have a great short, send it to us, and we will if we pick it, we'll give you a $25 gift card for placing it on our YouTube channel, which now has well over 2,000 subscriptions. So thank you very much. You guys we owe it to the amazing Canes family.
Absolutely. And with that said, go Canes.
Go Canes.